Mosher, Lombardi, and Kane on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Here's Vic Lombardi and Mark Mosher with Brett Kane.
All right, the Nuggets back at home tonight against the Pelicans, and it looks like Jokic and AG are off of the injury reports. They should be back, which is good news. And I got some thoughts on maybe what happened in this past game, why they got held out. It seems to be like it could be rest. I want to get there in a second. But I'm watching the television right now, and for the last hour that I've been in here, it's been the Olympics and the opening ceremony, so everybody gets to walk out with their flags, and they get a wave at people.
Is that today?
Yep, that's today. Which reminds me of the last time that we had this, which was just a year ago because COVID pushed the Summer Olympics back a year. And I remembered Mosher going through each sport saying what should be in and what should be out. And I feel like we need to do this again today for the Winter Olympics.
Oh, yeah. Then we need to reprise that. We need a winter version of that.
So, because we did the summer one. You know what, Marty? Play the whole thing here. For anybody who missed it, last year when the Summer Olympics were going on, right before they all started, all these games, Mosher went through them and just started yelling about which games needed to be out permanently from the Olympics, and here's a little taste.
Yeah. Artistic swimming, which is synchronized crap, get the hell out. Artistic swimming, you're gone. And then race walking. Race walking, you're not getting a medal for walking.
Nope.
I'm not going to sit here and watch you swim for 8 hours. Get lost. Anything with a horse. Badminton. I'm only keeping badminton in for one reason. The world needs more shuttlecocks in it. But then you got 1- and 2-person canoeing. Gone. The hell are we doing? Fencing I'm keeping because people stab each other. I'm into that. Mountain biking, BMX racing, and BMX freestyle, get the hell out of here. Trampoline, gone. There's judo and karate. Pick karate. Rugby, get the hell out.
What?
I don't need a rugby in the Olympics. I don't need that. Sailing. Sport climbing.
So he finishes it off with a curse. So we're going to have that a little bit later in the show again today.
Mosher Olympics. I got three sports in the winter, 4 sports in the summer, and that's it, baby.
That's so good.
Mosher, what are your Olympic sports? Hockey, football,
baseball,
and football,
and hoops.
No. Football and baseball should not be Olympic sports to begin with. So let's not be foolish.
Well,
these team
baseball
sports
is an Olympic sport, yeah.
Well, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. It's ridiculous that it is. It shouldn't be.
Yeah,
Nor should anything that's played at the highest level here or anywhere shouldn't be an Olympic sport. That's stupid.
Like basketball, you're out?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why don't
hockey?
Here's my.
I'm out.
Anything with a horse is dumb, only because you can't rely on another creature. It's about you, right? It's another creature.
What about horse racing? I mean,
that's not an Olympic sport.
Well, I know. I'm just saying
themselves.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like it has to be you, the individual.
Yeah, what, you're right. Does that horse know it's representing Azerbaijan? Does it know that?
No. All it cares about is taking a poop and eating. That's all it cares about, and then jumping around.
Does the poop know it's from a country?
Likes to jump.
Are you telling me that the American horse in all of these equestrian things in the Summer Olympics does not hold its hoof over its heart when the national anthem plays?
It's not very. The American horses aren't very patriotic. I've noticed.
It's not like they're in the barn.
Is that horse taking a knee? That horse is taking a knee. Get it out.
He looks down the way and he goes, F you, Russia. Yep. No, he doesn't care. It's just anyway. Okay, we'll do that a little bit later on. We haven't played the Olympic theme in a long time.
My horse likes Ted Nugent. It runs faster in practice rounds. That's how we know it's American. Yes,
it's a free for all, baby. Martin, we haven't played the Olympic theme in a long time. It's always, no matter where the games may be held, summer or winter, it's a great theme song that kind of drives you from your youth.
No, we're going to save that for when you start crapping on all the sports that are going to be played here in the next few weeks. We're going to save it.
Well, I need to get my list together of winter, okay?
Get your list together. We'll do this in about, let's say, an hour from right now. So we got Michael Lombardi joining us today. Drunk Takes to round out the show. So late last night, the head coaching vacancy for looks like two teams have kind of become official. Doug Peterson ended up getting a job here in Jacksonville, so he's going to take over the Jags. And Kevin O'Connell looks like once their Super Bowl's wrapped up, he's going to go be the coach of the Minnesota Vikings. And the question I have in all of this is, there's a couple, but just to start, for anybody who thinks the Broncos' job is a bad job or that it wasn't as desirable as other ones, I guess explain to me then how that was the first one to get eaten up. You know what I mean? Like, you look around the teams that still are without coaches right now, and we've been going on a few weeks here. The Dolphins, Saints, and Texans all still have vacancies. Why? Because those don't seem to be very good jobs right now.
I think you're looking at this a little skewed. It's because the Broncos pulled the trigger first. It's not because anything else. They pulled the trigger and made a hire. It's not like they did something.
Okay,
the other teams haven't done something.
That's fine, but the Jags job that just got filled, they could have had, according to reports, Byron Leftwich, but he said, I'm not taking this job if Trent Baalke's still going to be here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that kind of held them from getting that guy.
That feels like a dead-end job. That's the one that's like, oh, geez.
And
the other one's the white.
Except that you have Trevor Lawrence. And Trevor Lawrence is a talent. And if you get that talent cooking, then it ain't dead end, man. That is, you're living in Florida and you got Trevor Lawrence.
But do you think that Peterson took that Jags job despite Baalke being there? Because let's go back to the last couple of weeks of the season with the Jags. You remember they had their last home game. People showed up in clown makeup with their Jags jerseys on. And if you didn't see this video, it was a great video. They were doing that little trivia game in a TV timeout. You know, the same way the Nuggets and the Avs, they do it. They'll grab a fan, say, is it under the third solo cup or the first? You know what I mean? They'll do those games. And they had a trivia question for this Jags fan. And there were three options. A, B, or C were the answers. And his response was D, fire Trent Baalke. And the crowd went crazy.
Oh, wow.
And they kept that guy there. And I think maybe Peterson's the only dude that's like, look, man, I got a Super Bowl to my name. I got a lot of, good stuff in my past. Maybe I'm the only one that can, put it on the table and say, no, it's what I want. Maybe that's it.
Hey, help me out with the animosity towards Baalke down there. What is it that people don't like?
That he's just kind of bad at his job.
Well, he was pretty good at San Francisco when he was there.
Yeah,
So
but
what happened?
I think with the Jags, if you look at some of the draft picks that they've made, how about this one? Yeah. Travis Etienne. Why are you drafting a running back in the first round when you already
how do you know that
James
How do you know that
Robinson
wasn't
there?
influenced by Urban?
Well, maybe
what if Urban
it was,
made...
but you're there for it. And you hired Urban then. So, I mean, no matter what, it's still kind of on you, isn't it?
He didn't hire Urban. You think Trent Baalke hired Urban? You think he's the guy who said...
I think Shad Khan.
Yeah, I mean, come on now. I mean, it's pretty obvious why Trent Baalke's still there, because the owner likes him. Not because, I mean, that's why he's there. So why is there so much anger toward him?
The Jags are bad. And when your team's bad and the
get that.
GM's there, I mean, he's going to take some of those stray bullets that come with it. I mean, much in the same way that people soured on John Elway towards the end. You could ask, why are you so mad? He got you to 2 Super Bowls. And it's like, well, the team's been bad as of late. That's why.
Well, people turn, man. People turn. Elway delivered a lot to this city, man. A lot. As a player and an executive, people turn.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's, the most striking thing for me over the last 6 years. I know that the Broncos have really struggled and suffered, and it's been awful to watch. But you're right, Moj. It's amazing how quickly a fan base can turn on somebody. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, I think it's ugly. And I want no part of that.
I don't either.
To
Count me out. I will always be appreciative. Listen, part of it, though, is I like John. I like him as a dude. He's always been cool to me in any interaction, and he has done nothing but deliver to this city for 35 years.
I don't think it's that hard to say these things.
More than 35 years.
No, it is. Hold on a second. Go on any, after any Nuggets game or early in the season, any Avs game, and the amount fire Malone. I can't fire him. Oh, my God, Bednar, this is too big for him. Fire. I am so tired. I'm so tired of that quick trigger approach to every sport and every person. And maybe I don't know, calloused in this. I don't want to deal with that anymore.
It comes
You
from a
people,
site called Bro Bible by a guy named Slice Bread.
you people who automatically want to fire the coach or fire everyone after a loss here or a loss there, I got nothing for you, man.
That's a very
you guys
small
don't know what you're
percentage,
doing.
though. That's a small percentage of
It's
people
a
that
small vocal percentage, and it drives me crazy.
It's just like Twitter, man. When you see the percentage of human beings in America that are on Twitter, and then the percentage of those people who actually tweet, it is a minuscule amount of people doing all the Twitter, right? Mm-hmm. But they're loud and they're vocal, and and again, I'm not trying to blast young people here, but you didn't see Elway play. Okay, let's say right now you're 30. They last won a Super Bowl before you were even 10 years old. Okay,
I had this conversation with somebody.
You were 7 or 8 years old. You don't even probably have a memory of the Broncos really winning a Super Bowl. So it's easy for you to throw Elway out with the bathwater.
That's fine.
I'm just saying.
Those guys,
and you're 30, and you're 30 years old.
Wait. But the 30-year-olds are old enough to see him in the GM role, so that's different.
And that's all they know.
Right?
Yeah.
That's fine.
But that's all
fine.
they're judging it off of. They aren't judging it off of the quarterback part. And look, even
and that's fine. That's fine too. But he also delivered.
No,
to
but
a
it's
Super Bowl.
No, I know, but
it's
let me finish.
the meanness. It's the meanness. It's the I don't like the tone. It's too dismissive. It's too nasty. It's the nastiness of it all.
Well, I'm with
you. It's not cool.
And that's why, you know what, while we're on the subject, yesterday Elway put out a statement. I'll just read it quickly. It was kind of long, but while I was not planning to respond publicly to the false and defamatory claims by Brian Flores, I could not be silent any longer with my character, integrity, and professionalism being attacked. I took Coach Flores very seriously as a candidate for a head coaching position in 2019 and enjoyed our 3.5-hour interview with him. Along with the rest of our group, I was prepared, ready, and fully engaged during the entire interview as Brian shared his experience and vision for our team. It's unfortunate and shocking to learn for the first time this week that Brian felt differently about our interview with him. For Brian to make any assumption about my appearance and state of mind early that morning was subjective, hurtful, and just plain wrong. If I appeared disheveled, as he claimed, it's because we had flown in during the middle of the night immediately following another interview in Denver, and we're going on a few hours of sleep to meet the only window provided to us. I interviewed Brian in good faith, giving him the same consideration and opportunity as every other candidate for our head coaching position in 2019.
I had a conversation with somebody, and I got some details on that meeting, some extreme details on that meeting. The Broncos contingent wanted to meet with Brian Flores in the afternoon. That was the hope. Last minute, they got sandwiched, they got sort of shoehorned into the early meeting because at that time, Flores' team had practice, and they didn't want to move that practice time. They didn't make him available. So they had to alter all of their plans to get out there last minute. So things happened. Things happened. All right, that led to that early meeting. And the more I read about that, the more I look into it. And granted, again, this is all one side. His side, their side. Their side, his side. You throw those allegations out there, good luck.
Well, the one thing that Moj, I just don't understand is that I saw some of the response to Elway's statement, and it sounded a lot like, geez, man, why are you being so sensitive? Well, somebody just threw out a racist allegation towards you saying you didn't hire somebody because because of their race. And if that's not the case, I'm sure you'd be pretty pissed too.
Well, I call BS on that too. That's the same guy who hired an African-American coach.
Exactly.
Vance Joseph, over other white coaches. Isn't that the same regime that went through the process and hired Vance Joseph?
Well, and this is the thing.
I mean, are we just going to dismiss this?
No.
Are we just going to forget that? Is that something that just, wait, did he really? Yes!
Well, hang on. Just to back you up, this is what I was going to say, is that what makes that a really tough sell for me, and look, let's say that this is true. He appeared disheveled and was drinking heavily the night before. Fine. Did he have the meeting still? You know what I mean? Did he still have the meeting? Because you're right, Vic. If you go back to it, and this is what makes it a really difficult sell, if you want to throw out the race thing that ties into John Elway in this situation, I don't know how many teams that would have had what you would consider the best head coach in your franchise's history, right? Mike Shanahan is bar none the greatest coach this franchise has seen. He should be and will be in the Hall of Fame.
Should be,
had the
and
chance,
hopefully will be, yes.
You had the chance to hire his son, who had some pretty good, had a pretty good resume to his name at that point, and you turned that down for Vance Joseph. That's a tough sell if you want to throw out the race thing surrounding John Elway. You know what I mean? Like that whole, this is the son of the greatest coach that we've ever had. I'm pretty sure you'd want that guy as your head coach. Very difficult. And John
we
Elway's
throw that term around a lot. We throw the R term, the racism term a lot, and we pin it on people unfairly at times. And like some of the reactions we're getting here on our Twitch feed. You know what? I'll argue this all day, all night if you want. If you want to turn this into 3 hours, I'll go all day, all night on this. Who are you to judge? Who are you to think somebody is something? You don't know him. You don't know what he's about. You don't know his character. You don't know. I mean, you can't just assume stuff because you read it and it's a bunch of crap. How do you know Brian Flores is right?
No. Well, you don't. It'll all come out when the investigation continues and when the lawsuit gets to that point. But that's what social media is all about nowadays, Vic. It's about people. People don't know people. And they just accuse people and jump on things and make accusations. I don't know why people enjoy doing that either. I don't know why people enjoy piling on for people who don't know other people, accuse people of being this, and you don't know. You really don't know.
You don't know Brian Flores. He might be I'm not going to accuse Brian Flores of anything. I don't know him
Me either.
I talked to Eric Studesville about him, who worked for him. I don't know him. Let me tell you something. Yesterday, I got that statement from Elway, and I posted it on Twitter immediately, okay? Go read some of the comments underneath that, the one I posted. Go read some of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Go read some of those comments, and you tell me where all this is coming from.
I have no idea.
The vile, nasty comments from some of these people out there. Who are you to judge? Who are you? What do you think you are?
Who do you think you are? I am.
I mean, it's sick.
No, I was making funny there, Vic, but that's what social media has become. It's just it's not even fun anymore. It's just a lot of nastiness, man, and a lot of people who are maybe unhappy in their own lives. It's their way to just lash out at the world for no reason. It really is kind of a bummer, man. You know, if you allow yourself to actually, get absorbed by that, it's a bummer. I've learned to turn it out. Just tune it out. Like people from other teams
me too.
say mean things
and then
about
stuff
me,
like this comes up. Me too. I tune it out too. I've learned my lesson. I've learned, and then stuff like this happens, and it comes right back.
Yeah, makes you mad, makes you angry because you can't talk as adults. People just throw things out.
You tried to make your New Year's resolution, and things like this happen, and Vic needs to start yelling at people again. That's just how it is.
Well, I mean, 7993 here. Hey, look, two old white guys defending the system. What system am I defending? I'm not defending a system. The system is jacked. There should be more than one black head coach in the NFL. It's atrocious. The system is terrible. And you know what's part of that system? The Rooney Rule, which was terrible from the onset. And people were too afraid to say that, and now they are. 19 years ago when they instituted the Rooney Rule, guess what? Everybody tiptoed around it and said, oh, this is necessary. It was dumb to begin with, and it's dumb today.
Few minutes left here to transition over. It's kind of the same subject, because I think this is how the question was posed. I think Von Miller, who's doing a whole bunch of Super Bowl media stuff as we get closer and closer to the Super Bowl, which, by the way, Vic and Ryan Harris and Jesse are all going to be out there Wednesday through Friday of next week on Radio Row talking all the celebs. But I think that Von was asked about Brian Flores, and he transitioned that question into what he wants to do post-playing career. Listen to this response.
We're still trying to progress. It's not perfect. We're still trying to progress and do the right thing. For me, I always wanted to be I always wanted to do things in football, after my career is over with, and that just gives me an extra incentive to to become a GM and becoming in the front office. So I can change things for the better. I just think it's been on my heart and my mind to kind of chase that dream whenever I'm done. And, I'm still a long way. I'm still a long way from being done, but I think that's the route that I want to push things is, become a GM and really change it from the inside out.
Okay, so stop for a second. I'm going to preface this quickly with Von Miller is one of the greatest Broncos that's ever existed. He's still one of the better players in the league, and I have a lot of respect for Von Miller. The last thing I want is Von Miller being the GM of my team because he loves everybody. And I don't want a GM that loves everybody. When he said Moj, Drew Lock,
Trevor Siemian, love him. Drew Lock.
When he said about Drew Lock, he
love
throws
that guy.
Some of the best incompletions I've ever seen. I'm like, that's not what I want. And I can't imagine a scenario. You remember the movie Moneyball, Moj, when Brad Pitt is he's bringing in Jonah Hill, right? So Jonah Hill's still new to the team, and he says, "All right, I'm a player. Fire me." And Jonah Hill goes for like 30 seconds saying, "Hey, we love you, man. Nothing personal." And he goes, "No, just tell him you're cut.
You're gone.
Just say you're
right.
cut." Von Miller would be the guy that talks to him for an hour and then maybe changes his mind at the end and says, "You know what? Never mind. I like you. You're a good guy. You're still on the roster."
Yeah,
I can't trust that guy to make a hard decision.
I'm going to pick up that option on your contract after all. Because he does love everybody. Man, if I was Von Miller,
he'll do the Chris Harris thing. Like, here's $1 million. Sorry, I wasted your time here with this. My apologies.
Right. And there's a gift card to Applebee's. You know
what I'm saying though? Like, am I wrong on this? Like, I can't have a GM that loves everybody that's on the roster. I need somebody who's going to take a look and say, "No, this guy sucks. He's got to go.
He's gone. Yeah, out of here." If I was Vaughn, and Vaughn and I live in the same town. We just don't live in the same part of town, okay? Same little area out here. And he lives in an area where
I thought you were going to drop a you and Vaughn were neighbors thing, and I was like, wait.
Well, no, we're in the same. But he can have chicken. I can't have chicken. I want chickens in my house. I want a chicken coop, and I want a couple of barks out there. Bark, bark. I'm not allowed to. If I was Vaughn, I would just chill out, do my podcast at Club 58. And I would hang out with chickens and raise chickens and stuff. That's what I would do. I would not want, especially with the kind of bread he's made, I would not want the brain damage.
Yeah, but Vic,
of becoming a GM in the National Football League.
No, you know what though? I give Vaughn a ton of credit for wanting to embark on that path because I think it's necessary.
Yeah, God bless
What did
him.
I say?
It's a pain in
I've said
the
this.
butt, though.
I've said this all week. When this whole Flores situation came up, I said we need to flood the game with more black people, not only in the coaching ranks, but in the front office ranks too. Because there are capable folks out there. Plenty of them. And Vaughn is capable. If that is his aspiration, let him do it. He's a smart dude.
Everybody, but like Brett said, he loves everybody.
No, this has nothing to do with anything else than I don't trust Vaughn to look at somebody objectively and say, he's terrible, he's got to go, because he's going to love everybody. He always
what, though? There are a lot of people in life that can surprise you.
Simeon can take us all the way. Well,
there are a lot of people based on.
I was glad they
Let me give you an example.
In practice.
I'll give you an example. There are a lot of people that can surprise you and like, wow, I never knew that person had it in him. I never knew they could do it. And the older I get, I guess I'm no longer surprised. I'm like, okay, anybody can do anything if they really feel. Here's an example. Years ago, Brett, Broncos offensive linemen, all right, they had this code. They wouldn't talk to the media. They wouldn't talk to the media at all. There's no exchange of dialogue.
They had their own kangaroo court. If anybody ever was caught
it was
talking
considered
to the media,
verboten.
you had to pay a fine.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
All right. It was verboten. You didn't. So every time you looked at these offensive linemen off camera or, wow, these guys, they're in their own world.
How long ago was this?
Do you know? Oh, heck, it started in the late 90s and it went into the 2000s and it continued. And there was always that feel that the linemen are on their own and you don't mess with them. Do you know how many members of the media, very talented members of the media, the Broncos offensive line has spawned? And you'd never think it at the time because, again, they went against the grain and they did something you did not expect. And I really believe that we don't know people. We think we do. We assume we do. We don't know what their hopes and dreams are.
But I was just going to say, I feel like every media member right now that was a former Broncos player in this town is specifically offensive lineman. Now.
That's correct. Yes, that is correct.
I mean, I can think of 6 off the top of my head immediately right now?
So can I. Yep, and I know them all. Yep.
So that's hilarious. That's really funny.
Incidentally,
It's beyond hilarious. It's like there's something there. It's like what is going on?
Everybody except Zimmerman. Zimmerman went into the country on his Harley and was never seen again. But I love this. Again, if being a GM was all about this guy sucks, get rid of this guy. This guy's awful. Hey, the special teams coach gone. Right. Mm-hmm. This is from the 9964. Brett's right, and using his logic, Aqib Talib should be GM.
Yes, I would so take that
because
right now.
Aqib would be like, man, get the hell out.
Yes.
Get the hell. He would be awesome.
He would walk up to that guy's locker and just say, "You know why I'm here," and walk away and wait for him to pack his stuff.
Go on.
I would take Aqib Talib as my GM in a heartbeat just for that reason.
Oh, that's awesome.
Speaking of that clip, Moj, how much time do you need to get this thing ready? And
a little bit. I need to compile my list.
So Moj is going to go through all the sports here in the Winter Olympics that start today, and he's going to say which ones belong and which ones don't. So we'll get to that in a little bit. Stick around. All right, the NHL skills competition, All-Star Weekend, whatever you want to call it, starts tonight. The Nuggets take on the Pelicans, who they just played just a few games ago, got the W, and hopefully that can happen again tonight at Ball Arena. And Vic, look, this is all guesswork on my part. I guess there's no real way to know this. But Jokic and Gordon are off the injury list now, and now they're available to play tonight. I don't know if it was a rest thing or not, and what my conspiracy theory, I guess, is because it was a nationally televised game, maybe you can't just say, I'm resting these guys. And so you have to say, oh, he's got a toe. You know what I mean? Like, you just throw some of that out there so the NBA doesn't get all pissed off saying, why are you resting guys when you're on a national TV schedule? But regardless, let's just say that they were. That was a rest day for Jokic and for Gordon. I don't mind it. I really don't. And I know you want to win against Utah, and you feel like if you had either Joker or Gordon, you could have gotten that win. But there's a difference between playing 34 or 35 minutes a night and for Joker and for Jeff Green. That's a different sort of effort that's exerted in those minutes. Like the way I described it in the 6 o'clock hour was, if I say I worked out for an hour, I did curls, bench, some pull-ups, and that was it. Marty says he worked out for an hour. He ran for an hour straight without stopping. It's a different level of energy that's exerted for Marty.
That? Who runs for an hour in a row, just says, you know what, I'm just going to – I mean, outside of Forrest Gump, who does that, man? Martin. That's who.
Yeah.
Marty.
Wow. Look at my hair flap in the wind. That's wonderful.
Marty, if I gave you an hour,
man.
if you just started
running
running
it ain't
right
so
now,
wonderful, dude.
no stretching, no nothing. I said, get up and start running for an hour. How far would you go? How many miles?
Like 9 miles.
Good God.
Dude, you could run that's insane that people can do that.
It doesn't seem fair. But
I'd get to about 5.
how far can
5
I
miles.
walk in an hour? A
Like
mile and a
3?
half?
No, probably 3.
No, you could probably get 3 miles in.
I would definitely take a break. I'd pass by a bar and be like, can I have one shot for a second?
Yeah.
Can I go back to your original thought, though? Because
Yeah.
that went off the deep end a bit.
Yeah, it did.
I wish that we just take this lens and pull it back a little bit on what the Nuggets did this week, the road trip. They went 4-2, which is outstanding. Okay, 4-2. If you had the benefit of hindsight, which they did not, if you knew for sure that Utah was going to sit 4 of its key players, they knew that going in. All right, that there wasn't going to be a Clarkson, an Ingles, a Mitchell, and a Gobert in that game. I mean, they're basically inviting you to win.
Yeah.
Okay, if you knew that going in, don't you think that the smarter move, if rest certainly is in play, that the wiser move would be to sit those guys in Minnesota rather than Utah?
Mm-hmm. I just don't know if
So
they
that
knew
was
that.
my consternation. That was where I was like, dang it. How many times do you get a scheduled win in Utah? It doesn't happen,
Well,
right?
think
How
about it
many
this way,
times
just-
did that opportunity come up?
Just real quick. Again, we're playing the hindsight game, and maybe this was the thought process for Malone was, I mean, Donovan Mitchell just came off his concussion protocol. Like, the second that game got done, they said, Mitchell's back. Maybe Malone was thinking they might get Mitchell back and Clarkson would play. And so, you know what feels like the more sure chance at a win would be Minnesota over Utah. And so maybe you played the game that way. I don't know. I'm not sure. But you're right. Like, benefit of hindsight, I would have benched guys from Minnesota and then played them against Utah because that game just meant more. But regardless, Jokic has never really sat for rest games. And again, this is just, we don't know if maybe he was hurt. Perhaps he was. But if that was the case, I'm cool with them doing this every once in a while. I want to make sure that he's well enough rested for the long haul here. And I don't want to put too much on his plate in February when, if you're planning on getting Jamal and or Michael Porter Jr. back, you're trying to make a playoff run here. So I'm not going to be overly concerned about this. As long as you keep pace, you stay in the top 6 seed, you stay out of the play-in games, whatever you got to do to keep Jokic fresh enough for a playoff run, I'm cool with it. I'll trust you on that. I defer everything to Mike Malone.
Yeah, I'm cool with that too. And Joker is not a guy who takes time off, period. He just doesn't miss games, right? I mean, Honestly, if Nikola Jokic could just play every game, he probably would. Sometimes you got to do what's best for the player. And Vic, I see what you're talking about. You can lose in Minnesota with Joker or lose without him, 130 to 115. It was not a pretty game. I dig that. But in hindsight, it's not that big of a deal, man. Again, you're going to be where you're going to be. I don't think you're if that one game at Utah, a scheduled win because all those guys were out, if you miss on home court advantage in the first round because of that one game, yeah, it's a bummer. Hindsight 2020. But I didn't think you were going to win in Milwaukee anyway. So basically, you stole one there, as far as I'm concerned. You shot 54% from three-point range, for God's sake. You can't duplicate that again, or rarely can you do that. So you trade. You trade that Milwaukee, what was a loss, you get a win there, and you lose to Utah.
And maybe you
I
just
know
think,
it stinks because Utah's in your division, they're leading, blah, blah. I dig all that, but there'll be time to make it up.
maybe you went into that saying, dude, we already took at least 4 out of 6 on this road trip. I don't care about this last one. I'm just going to see if I can roll it out there. You know what I mean? Because you go 4-2. We all would have said yes to that, right? 6-game road trip, 4-2.
No doubt about it.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Especially, again, Brooklyn, that was a scheduled win. I mean, they're missing some big dudes there. You win. You go to New Orleans, win. Easy. Milwaukee, win. Oh.
Big time
And
win.
then mini Utah.
Loss?
They will smoke the Birds tonight. They'll smoke them.
That
And let's move on.
is a dub.
Just quickly here, we got a couple of minutes. We haven't talked about this for a long time because there's no point in doing it. But baseball, if you guys missed it, has hired a mediator to try and get through this to make sure that they can start the season as close as they can to on time, which I don't think is going to be on time. It's amazing to me how much baseball is their own enemy for so many different things. Like when you talk about why is the sport maybe like waning in interest, again, I can't imagine any other sport, Moj, in which there's a lockout and just nobody cares. Like it's not even, where's an update for it? Well, we don't have one. Doesn't matter. You weren't really diving into what the details are, nothing. Like they went, 2 weeks? Like the MLB proposed something or the MLBPA proposed something, waited 2 weeks, and the MLB was like, I just don't think I'm going to make a counteroffer. Let's hire somebody.
I'm just going to sit
Could
on
you
it.
not just do this on day one if this was the case? It always comes down
Because
to this.
there's no urgency, Kane, or there's no urgency to get it done. Everything gets done at the 11th hour. That's when things get done. Pitchers and catchers are supposed to be reporting, man.
Yeah, they're supposed to be there right now.
They're supposed to be there working out. And so now once you start to affect spring training, then you're gonna have some movement. But until then, people are just.
So, what, as a former baseball player, what is the process to limber up for the season? Like, when do you start that? When do you get off the couch and limber up?
Oh, spring training's needed just because it takes you probably a good month to get your timing down for pitching. Like, here's what you can't do. If you're, and look, I don't want to say you can't, but if you're a hitter,
Yeah.
you can't just get off your couch after sitting there for 3 months, step into a box and say, give me 98.
Not
mix
possible.
in some curveballs, and I'm going to be good.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't work that way. So it's all about timing.
Tony Gwynn could.
For pitchers, you can't just not do anything and then throw 99 every day and have your arms stay in shape. Like all of that kind of
My man,
factors into it.
Marquez could.
You know, anybody who thinks they can hit Major League pitching, my favorite vantage point is those ones that put the camera right behind the catcher's glove,
yeah.
and here comes the pitch. And I look at some of those pitches. Who was it? Otani. There was one from Otani. They showed Otani throw his slider, and the vantage point was right behind the catcher. And if you're especially a left-handed batter, I'd be crying. I'd cry.
Was that Drew Goodman's tweet last week? Did you see that?
I think it was. Yeah, I saw that, and I'm envisioning myself in the batter's box, just crying, weeping loudly, saying, what would I do there?
Do you know what a great one is? Do you guys follow Pitching Ninja on Twitter?
I don't.
So
no.
Pitching Ninja is really good, and he's the guy who does like you'll see he puts the tracers on the baseball, so he'll have like an overlay of a fastball with like a curveball. And he just did one not too long ago because Yu Darvish was pitching and just
that's the one I'm looking at right now.
Marty, go and find that and pull that up because what he has side by side is a Yu Darvish slider with I think a 2-seam fastball because it kind of runs inside, and they come from the exact same arm angle, and it's this fast, right? That's how fast it gets to the plate. And a slider breaks like a foot, 2 feet, and the fastball runs in. It looks like it's going to hit your knees. How the hell do you hit that? It seems like an impossibility.
It looks like when I'm watching you, Darvish, throw the slider.
Okay, watch this. Marty's pulling it up right now.
It looks like to me, it looks like a wiffle ball.
Vic, look at this. So that's slider and two seam. Look at the overlay there.
No.
How is that possible to hit and recognize?
But at what point, like, again, that's where you say the timing. All right, so you have the bat on your shoulders, right? You're getting ready. Where does your brain tell you, yeah, this one is good to hit? At what point, when you see the ball, does your brain say, yep, let's go ahead and pull the trigger on this one? I just can't fathom that. And as somebody in the Twitch feed suggested, you're exactly right. There is nothing, can we all agree? It is the toughest thing in all of sports to hit Major League pitching. Mm-hmm. There's nothing tougher, ever.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Nothing. And when people say, hitting a golf ball, anybody can get lucky and hit a golf ball down the middle. Don't be silly and stupid. I'm talking about sitting in a batter's box and hitting Major League pitching.
But as we get to break, I want to echo Vic's point here. You think let me have that cheese. Give me that heat. And you step into the box against Major League pitching, and you may ask for it. You may beg for it. You think you want it.
Yeah.
But you get into that box. You don't want it. You will be weeping.
I would cry. I'd just cry.
The stupidest I felt, just quickly, because I know we're over on time, the stupidest I've ever felt in my life. I struck out on 3 pitches with the bat on my shoulder for every pitch. It was this lefty that was drafted by the Yankees in like the 3rd round, so he's playing out his final season. He threw a 2-seam fastball. Every single time, it looked like it was 93 miles an hour. It's going to hit me in that part of my knee, right there where that bone is on the side, and then it would flatten out on the inside corner. So I jumped back and stuck my ass out thinking it's going to hit me. Yeah, strike one. I go, oh, that was a good pitch. Next thing, same thing. I jumped back again. I did that 3 times and walked back to the dugout, and they said, what was the pitch? And I go, I don't know. I've never seen anything like it in my life. Back in 3 minutes. So got a report here from Ian Rappaport. Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh tells Mitch Albom that this is the last time he'll chase an NFL job while admitting the Vikings weren't as enthusiastic about him as he was about them. Minnesota ended up choosing Kevin O'Connell. This is what's funny to me is that, remember, Harbaugh's doing this interview a few days back for the Vikings on National Signing Day in college football when he has a team that just went to the college football playoff. And I was blown away at just how weird the dichotomy of that was. Because if you're Michigan, you can't just say, okay, kick rocks, buddy. You aren't going to do that. But I always thought, what happens if he doesn't get the job? How weird is that coming back? And do you buy for a
power
second,
move, right? It's a power move.
Do you buy for a second that Jim Harbaugh, that was his last time chasing an NFL job while he's the head coach at Michigan?
Well, it's just very convenient that we all know why he chased the job, right? You know why. I mean, we don't have to put this together like a formula. You know exactly what transpired in Michigan. He was asked to take a pay cut. Mm-hmm. He gave money back. He was angry. He decided he was going to make up that money after leading his team to the semifinals, and this is the way he was going to do it.
So do you think if Minnesota offered him the job, he would have turned it down? Because I think he had enough.
I think he had enough evidence in place to know that the job may have been offered, but so too would have a pay raise at his. He would not have done that without some prior information.
I think so.
And you know what? That goes on in any line of work. So we're going to rip. I get it. We're going to rip Harbaugh for this.
I'm not ripping him. No, I'm not doing that.
You know what that's called?
It's funny.
You know what that's called? And everybody listening, before we all rip Harbaugh, and rightfully so, I'm not a big Harbaugh guy either. That's called leverage. And if I were to give anybody advice in any line of work, if you're weighing two different jobs in the same business, use the leverage because you don't get it all the time. Use it while you got it. Mm-hmm. If you came to me and said, hey, should I take this job? Use the leverage. You have it. It's your weapon. Harbaugh had a ton of leverage, and it came in the form of the national semifinals versus an NFL job.
Also, I guess in his favor, it didn't hurt that Mel Tucker just signed a $90 million contract down the road in East Lansing.
Yeah.
He can look and say, hey, look, Mel just got 90. And he ain't gone to any national semifinal. How about a little something back for the Harvey?
Can I ask you just a general question about Harbaugh? What is the feeling around that guy? Like, if
I don't know.
If the Broncos brought Harbaugh in for an interview and he was one of the finalists, you would think what?
He comes off as just sort of a weirdo.
Well, he is a weirdo.
He took the 49ers to a Super Bowl.
Sleepover at a recruit's house.
Yeah. But, Brett, he took the 49ers to a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. He took Michigan now to the national playoff. He was pretty damn good at Stanford. Didn't he? I mean, he got Stanford.
He was good everywhere. Up the ladder at the University of San Diego. San Diego, I thought it was.
By the way,
maybe it is.
No, he was. I know you're going to hate this. I know you're both going to hate this. But Big 50's kid played for him at San Diego. I know. Everything ties back to Big 50. I know. Okay. Later, Oleskowitz. Adios.
See, but Moshe, again, is the point.
Jim Ryan's kid played for Jim Harbaugh at the University of San Diego.
Yeah.
Okay, but
that's the fourth time you've said that now.
Yeah, but also, here's the follow-up question. Why did I need to know that? If you said he played for him at San Diego and here's what he said about him, that would have been some stuff.
Why did why did that piece of information need to filter into the conversation when all you had to say is defend what I said? Yes, he coached the University of San Diego.
I got a secondhand account that he's a very good coach.
Okay,
I don't know why. I don't know why this is all. I don't know why I get a heebie-jeebie feeling about Harbaugh. I don't know.
But hang on. Here's the question I have. So Harbaugh gets this interview with Minnesota, and he was, I guess, supposedly, I don't know if he got an interview or not, but he was talked about and tied to the Dolphins job too. Does Harbaugh get these opportunities if he doesn't just make the playoff? Because I was under the impression that everybody was kind of done with Harbaugh, including maybe Michigan heading into last year. But because he had a good season, now Harbaugh's back to the guy that can turn around franchises again?
Brett, winning does things to people.
In 1 year?
It makes them happy. It makes them want. It makes them gimme. Winning elevates your stature.
But Moj, pause for a second.
Correct.
He's been at Michigan for what now? 5 years or 6 years? It's
But
one
he
of the
finally
two.
beat Ohio State.
Okay, but
He finally beat Ohio State.
Wait. Here's what I'm getting at, though. He's been there for 5 or 6 years. Heading into last season, was Harbaugh a disappointment at Michigan, yes or no?
Yes.
So one season erases
Very
all
much
of that?
so. Yeah.
One season erases
Yeah,
it.
evidently, yes. Yeah,
Sure does.
yeah.
You betcha.
I mean, you could take.
You bet
You
your
could
ass,
look
Brett.
at cases across college football. One season can erase it. Dude, I was here back when Bill McCartney was about to get fired as the head coach at CU. He came from Michigan, right? Mm-hmm. And he was terrible his first few years. Terrible. They gave him another season, and a lot of people said, "What are you doing? This guy can't." And look what happened.
Oh, I think it's a difference.
It just takes one season. One.
Yeah, but I guess the difference that I'm making here is that for your current job or your current employer or school or whatever it is, I think it's different for them because they say, okay, well, he did it. Like, if you're Michigan, of course you keep Harbaugh. Like, your mind's going to change. But for Minnesota, like the Vikings, that 1 year has now changed your perspective of this guy wasn't all that good and not worthy of an interview, and now he is. That's what I'm talking about. Michigan.
Yeah, I don't know what goes into deciding who your head coach should or should not be. That you're opening up I have no idea what front office types are looking for there. Like what is the grand plan when you're looking for a leader?
That's what I've been curious about is that there's so
I have
many
no
different
idea.
personalities and different ways of going about business. And somehow, look, Vic Fangio and Nathaniel Hackett couldn't be more opposite of each other, right? Mm-hmm. They couldn't be more different. And yet, you've thought in the span of 3 years that both guys were the right guy for this job. It's a weird concept to me.
Even the interview process, to me, is almost like a waste of time. I'll give you a classic example, and we've said it all year long. If Mike Tomlin were suddenly made available to become a head coach, would you hire him?
Yeah.
Would you hire him?
I'd take a guy who's never had a losing season.
Well, hold on a second. You're asking me
yeah.
if I would hire Mike Tomlin. The guy
would you hire him as your head coach?
I tried to hire in my heart for the last decade on this show.
Most, let me just throw out an example.
Why would you? Is that like is this like some sort of fake play question?
If Faith Hill just broke up with Tim McGraw and she became available and said I wanted the Moj, would you be open to Faith?
I got it. No, I got the bear, man.
Nope, and the reason I bring that up, all right. So the reason I bring that up, let's say you have a guy that you think is a no-brainer, and maybe Minnesota thought that of Harbaugh. Maybe why even bother with an interview? Like, why would I even need to interview Mike Tomlin? And this goes on in business practices all over, like the whole interview scam that exists. Oh, let's interview this person. There are people that say, man, if you are ever available for a job, call me. I'll hire you on the spot. Like, you don't have to think about, you don't have to sit down with Mike Tomlin and take him to a restaurant. And there's none of that.
You don't need any of that
exists.
Hey, Mike, do you like play backgammon in your off time?
Mike,
what's your favorite?
Mike, are you out? Mike, are you out of your contract in Pittsburgh? Yeah. Okay, tomorrow you're here. You're the coach. That's it.
Well, how about this? How about this?
You don't need to interview that guy.
Let's say you have to go through the process, right? It's just like protocol. You have to do it.
But see, that's just the problem.
Wait.
That's the flaw with the NFL. The process. What process?
Let me finish
what
this.
is it?
Let me finish this. If Mike Tomlin were to become available, and you're hiring a head coach, and you know you want Tomlin, and you know what? Tomlin already said he wants to go to you, and so you do the interview, and it is literally the worst interview. He puked on himself in the middle of it.
I don't care.
He was high on crack cocaine.
Doesn't matter. No.
And heroin. And then you get done with it and you say, that was awful. How much should we pay him? Right? Like, that's the next question.
Pretty much.
That was the worst interview I've ever had. How much money do you think we should give this guy?
Yeah. All right, so if Nick Saban called Rick George and said, you know what, I'm tired of Alabama, I want to start something new. I'm tired here, I'm out of my contract. You have 10 seconds to hire me. What do you think his choice would be? And you have to fire everybody there on the spot to get me. What do you think he'd say?
I'd say you're hired. Ding 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 ding. Yo, entire staff.
Interview.
Just a mass.
No interview. I don't need an interview. I mean, the whole interview thing is this. I mean, an interview is for someone you don't know.
303-504-0925 is Quality First Service Group listener line. Got Michael Lombardi, an hour from right now. Drunk takes to round out
I got
the
my
show.
sports, by the way. I figured
You
something
ready?
out about the winter. Yeah, I figured something out about Winter Olympics.
Okay, but wait. Do you have your list? Are you ready to go? Can we do this next?
Let's get it on.
Yes, Mosier tells you all the sports that need to be eliminated from the Winter Olympics. Next. All right, I've been waiting for this all morning. I'm so excited. Again, if you guys have missed what Mosier did last year for the Summer Olympics, Marty, don't play the whole thing. Just give us a couple of things from last year's Summer Olympics. This is Mosier going through all the sports and which ones need to be eliminated from the Olympics. This was last year's Summer Olympics. Go ahead.
Get the hell out of here!
Hey, oh!
Trampoline? Gone. There's judo and karate. Pick karate. Rugby. Get the hell out.
What?
I don't need the rugby in the Olympics. I don't need that. Sailing. Sport climbing.
I know Mosier cursing is everybody's favorite. I'm telling you, judo and karate, pick one, kills me every time. Every time.
I could listen to that all day and laugh all day.
Well, guess what?
All day.
It is the Winter Olympics. They have started today. They just had opening ceremonies, which takes us to Mosier's elimination of Winter Olympic sports. What should not be allowed as competitions in the Winter Olympics? Mosier, the floor is yours.
All right, here's what I've figured out about the Winter Olympics. I like a lot of these sports, a lot of them. But they have too many events inside of each sport. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Oh, I follow.
Alpine skiing. There's a lot of stuff. Slalom, men's and women's, giant slalom, downhill, Super G. Now, it used to just be slalom, giant slalom, and downhill. Then they added a Super G, which is between downhill and giant slalom. Get the hell out of here! Then they have a mixed team event where men and women ski together. No. Just do your thing, ski downhill, and be done. Who gets to the bottom fastest? And what I don't like is stuff that's up for interpretation, like in the summer games. My horse looks pretty with his tail. No, man. No. Either you win or you don't. You're either fastest or you're slowest, right? There's none of this, well, they look pretty good doing it. No. Okay, so that Alpine event, Super G, mixed, gone. Biathlon. I love it, man. You ski around. It's like you're Jason Bourne in the woods, and then you lay down and you shoot people. That's pretty cool, right? You got your individuals. You got your relays. You got your mixed. You got your pursuit, which is more... Here's what I'm doing. Men and women ski and shoot, and then you get the pursuit where I'm on your ass, and I'm going to catch you, and I'm going to shoot you. But all of this mass start and all this stuff, no, we don't do that, so eliminate 3/4 of those. Bobsleigh. We've gotten way...
You weren't even specific about which 3/4. Just 3/4 of it needs to go.
I don't care. I like the shooting and the skiing. Just, you don't have to have 50 different events. Okay, bobsleigh. Officially, it's called bobsleigh and not bobsledding, but that's irrelevant.
It
used to be, all right. Yeah. It used to be, all right, a couple of dudes jump in a friggin' go-kart and head down the track, right? Not anymore, man. 2-person men's and women's. 4-person, and then they have what's called for the women a monobob. We already got that. It's called the luge.
That sounds weird. Yeah.
Okay, get rid of that. You're outdone. Just 2 people and 4 people and go down the track. Fine. Cross-country skiing. Oh, Christ. There's a team sprint freestyle. Men's and women's across. What is freestyle? You know what? If you want to go in the woods and just friggin' pull a Martin Oleskowitz and ski across over the mountain to the next valley, good for you. I ain't watching you. All you cross-country folk can get lost. Curling. I have mixed emotions about curling. Because while I appreciate any sport where you can smoke a Marlboro and drink Coors Light and win a gold medal, I broke my wrist curling in Calgary.
No, you
It was
didn't.
hard. What? Yes, I did.
No,
I fell while curling in Calgary, and I cracked my wrist right here. Yeah.
So now the
sucks,
sport's
believe
too
me.
dangerous. Now you're saying it's just too dangerous for the
How
Olympic
did you
Games.
take the one sport that you could, as you said,
Oh
smoke
my
a
God.
Marlboro and drink a Coors Light, and you have broken a bone participating
That's embarrassing.
in that sport?
That really is.
Okay, so anyway, I'll keep curling in. Okay, that's good. Again, I swear to God, at Salt Lake City, they had, and I'm not even kidding you, they're like, this is the captain of the women's curling team for the USA, and she's down there, and this is her husband in the stands, and I kid you not, he's in the far corner of the stands, they show him, he's got a Jeff Gordon t-shirt on, and he's hammering a dart. And I'm like, can you even smoke inside that joint? He's like,
Marty, turn the music up. I need more music. Come on.
figure skating. Oh, no. You realize figure skating is the most watched Olympic sport? Do you realize that?
Well, that's no surprise.
It gets by far the highest ratings.
Carol Lipinski, Michelle Kwan. Come on, bro.
God, poor Nancy. All right, just for the cattery of it all, I'll keep figure skating in there because old ladies like it. Freestyle skiing. Again, this is interpretation. You're going to be mad at me. Aerials, moguls, ski cross, which is kind of cool. It's kind of like, it's like all for one and one for all for yourself. Ski half pipe, ski slope style, big, okay. Gone. Sorry.
All of it? All of it's gone.
Well, wait a minute. So this is the compilation of all of those different categories, not like one, not like half pipe versus
Brand
snow
new
pipe,
in
whatever all these
2022
pipes are. Everybody's
brand
on
new
a
in
pipe.
brand new in 2022 is big air. What does that mean? You go as fast as you can, fly high in the air. I mean, they already have it's called ski jumping. They already got that.
Yeah.
All right.
Did
Ice
you
hockey.
say ass
in.
wipes?
No, I did not. Ice hockey is in. Luge.
Wait. Ice hockey is in. You just skirted right past that. Even without the pros, just
Doesn't
some
matter. I'll
some
watch
commoners.
it all, 100%. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Luge is there. Singles, men's and women's. That's awesome. Listen, you're on this little sled and you're doing 95 down the track. Cool. Mixed doubles where you lay on each other. I don't need to see that. Mixed team relay event. I don't need to see that. A dude gets on one sled, a gal gets on her sled, and you go. And whoever gets there fastest wins. Done. It's just watching people lay all over each other at 95 miles an hour. It's weird. All right. Nordic combined. Now this is where you cross country. They take the rifle out of your hands. You cross country ski and then you jump. Pick one. Just pick one. Either jump or cross country ski over to the next valley. Gone. Short track. You know what that is? That's the Apollo Ono stuff. It looks like roller derby. Mm-hmm. No. 500 men's and women's relays, mixed team relay. No. It's all gone.
I love that one.
The one where they touch the ice when they turn?
Yeah, it looks
so
like
stupid.
It looks like they're on a motorcycle making a sharp turn. You don't like that? How dare you, Apollo Ono?
I like speed skating. I don't like the short track. Skeleton. Now this is radical. This is where you luge, but you lay face first, head first going down the track, and you're out of control. And dudes always biff it.
What's the difference?
I love that.
But what's the difference between the luge and the Skeletor?
Okay, one is you're laying on your butt and you're looking up like this.
Yeah.
And the other one
Okay.
is you're like this and you are head first. In fact, get rid of luge and everybody goes down head first. That's
Yeah,
it.
well,
Period.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, yes. So eliminate luge, because if you're going down on a sled, what does it matter which way you're facing? Just
Also,
pick one way and let's go.
A really big difference between the two is Skeletor, I believe, was in X-Men.
Change the name. It sounds cooler. Wouldn't
Yeah, it sounds fun to me.
And now up, Skeletor. It's better than skeleton.
Ski jumping. By the way, you know which country has the most medals in ski jumping? Take a guess.
Finland?
Austria.
Norway.
The Netherlands. The Dutch. I didn't even know they had a friggin' mountain in Holland. Anyway.
Okay. How stupid I am. I thought the Dutch was Denmark.
No,
Because
those are
of
the
the
Danes.
D.
Those are the
You
Danes.
didn't have to tell us
Those are
that.
Danish people. Yeah. You didn't have to say you were stupid.
I'll never go there in my life. It doesn't matter.
All right, so you've
That's
got
as bad as
individual
when. Did I tell you about this? When I did the show with Kyle and the Avs announced that they were going to play a game in Finland, and he said into a live mic, "Why are they going to South America?"
Right? I wouldn't make that mistake.
Dude, that
It's
was
obviously in Asia.
What I don't understand about the ski jumping, which I love, Brett. See, I grew up on the ABC's Wide World of Sports. The thrill of victory and what, Vic? The thrill of victory
And the agony of defeat.
and then dude falls off the end of the ski jump and his parts just fly all in the air. Remember that? Remember seeing that? That was pretty awesome.
Big guts. Big hearts
all
everywhere.
over the plate, yeah. But they have, with ski jumping, they have the ski jump, and then they have a littler one. They have what's called normal and large hill. Why not just go off the big end, man? Like, yeah, catch as much air as you can. Now, I like the ski jumping. It's always amazing to me that those guys will do 60 miles an hour and then fly through the air down the hill. And then actually stick a landing. Okay, I'm keeping that.
Moj,
just give me one
can
hill.
I combine Skeletor with the ski jump?
Yes.
Oh, that'd be...
Yes.
Yeah. Dude, you go head first off the ramp as far as you can, man. No net. Okay. Snowboarding. This is where you smoke a spleef at the top and you go into the bowl. Like, dude, watch me do this 780, man. I admit I'm dumb about this. Parallel giant slalom, men's and women's. That's kind of cool. You race each other. I like that. Parallel slalom.
Wait,
I like
what
that
is
too.
what is that? There's like a
You race. It's a race. It's like a side-by-side race down the hill.
Well, shouldn't everything be a
snowboard.
race? Isn't everything a race? Why don't they make the
Yeah,
downhill
but you
a race?
can't do it. You can't do it skiing wise. You only have one course. And
Well, what rule is there?
Hey,
Yeah,
we got to pick up the
hold
pace.
on a second.
Pick up the pace. Let's
But
go.
why can't you race on a downhill ski slope? Race. Get another person out there. Let's go.
All right, I don't know. Okay, anyway, but they got slope style. I think that's Sean White stuff. Snowboard cross. I don't even know what that is. Sorry.
So it's out.
Speed skating. I like speed skating. I like to watch their arms go like this, and behind them they're going right with their arms behind them like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And they wear like these suits that like looks like they're wearing just like blue skin. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm in. And I think that's it.
That's all of them. So our own Dick Pound here on this radio show has made the
Way to go, Dick
determination
Pound.
for which sports are allowed and which ones aren't. I love it. Marty will have a super
Like
cut later in the show.
cross country skiing is like, here is Hans Schmidt, and he's been out there for 3 hours and 45 minutes, and I'm like, Jesus, I'm hammered. By the time Hans started, he hasn't even crossed the finish line yet, and I've been through half a 12er. It's just great.
So there you go. The sports that should be eliminated in the Winter Olympics from our own Dick Pound, which is Mark Mosier. Very, very good.
You never disappoint, Moj. You never do. That's just
Well, dude, it's just
I love it.
and they keep adding stuff to different sports. You know, I don't
I would
know.
do you know how much I would love, Vic, if like Jeff Lakewald has to give the pitches for like the Hall of Fame players in the NFL, right? Like he makes a pitch and then you wait for the response. If Moj made the pitch to the IOC for which sport should be allowed and which one shouldn't, and he went in there and said judo or karate, pick one.
Yeah.
And just wait to see what they say about it.
Well, aren't all the Taekwondo guys going like, "Hey man, what about us?"
dude.
And all the jiu-jitsu guys are going, "Yeah,
You're
man,
100% right.
We want in too, man. I mean, it's all martial
For
arts
me,
stuff, right?
there's only one martial art. Whatever they did at the All Valley tournament is the only martial art. That's it. There's no other martial art.
karate. That's karate.
I don't
Yeah.
understand the one where like you show me everything you can do, but you don't actually do it. I don't want to see you do it.
And then remember Steven Seagal, the actor? Remember Steven Seagal, right? Ponytail, all that stuff.
Of course.
He did what's called Aikido, which is something that's totally different too, man. Like all those
Nah,
Aikido
man,
guys
too much.
and gals are going like,
It's
man,
too
I wanna-
much.
I
Too
want
many
to. I
practices.
want to wrap some faces on an Olympic mat. You know, I want a gold medal.
You know,
for
while you're at
wrapping
it, there's
this
too
guy's
many
face
wrestlings and grapplings and all these. Let's go. Put
Can I
the
share-
person down.
Can I share something that Marty just whispered in my ear? He said, "What the bleep are they talking about?"
off. I don't know. Well, I mean, it's like what? Why is?
You said the all.
No,
Valley
you know what?
tournament.
Mosier makes a great point. And Mosier, let me tell you something, Mosier. I like to make fun of you on a lot of things. You should be the commissioner of
You should.
the
I'd vote for
Olympics.
you.
You are our very own Dick Pound. You are more Dick Pound than Dick Pound himself.
But I mean, how cool is it that
How about
you
this?
ski
Poll-
around?
poll
okay?
question
The
at Brett-
cross country
hang on,
skiing,
hang on.
I'm not cool with.
Poll question at Brett Kane Radio: is Mosier better at being Dick Pound than Dick Pound? Yes or no? I mean, I think we're gonna throw that up there.
Richard.
So at Brett Kane
All
Radio.
right.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Scott. Honestly, I don't know who thought of this, but like somebody said, all right, here's what we're going to do. It became an Olympic event in 1960. And maybe it was because of the Cold War. Here's what we're going to do. We had a mission last winter, and we got a really good – we're going to ski around, and then you're going to stop. You're going to shoot stuff. Like, we're going to bring weapons, into the Winter Olympics.
Well,
Okay.
I think though, if you want to be fair about it, if you're going to be shooting, maybe you should be shot at too. I mean, there should be like a give and take there.
Yes. And by the way, for those who are anti the biathlon, which I think is rad, they're not shooting like a 50 caliber sniper rifle, right? And blowing apart a Jeep. They have like a little 22 ping, 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 but they're still
like a
shooting
pellet
a weapon.
gun.
Can I?
Yeah,
know what?
pretty
Can
much.
I throw my hat in this?
It's a glorified pellet gun.
Can I throw my hat in this and try and create a sport? So here's
100%.
Here's what I imagine. There's two hills, and then there's a flat surface in between. One person starts at one side, the other at the other. They both have lances, and it's like jousting. On
I like
skis.
this already.
Awesome.
I like
Wouldn't that
this
be
already.
cool? Like,
Anything
you drop
that
down,
requires,
and
yes.
you just with
Yes.
that joust or that lance,
Yes.
and you're like, ah, I want
Yeah.
that to happen.
Well, it's funny how skiing is reinvented itself. I mean, I'm not a skier, so I don't know how hard it is to go down a hill. It looks hard. Whatever. What is the one event where there's a bunch of dudes just up and down these hills and they're racing, but they put like 6-7 dudes on there and they're all going at it? What's that one called? You know the one. They're all going up these hills and it's a big race with a bunch of dudes. Dudes everywhere. Dudes just racing down the
They're
hill.
going to start doing ice climbing. They're going to be like, well, Steve's been on the side of this mountain since 6 a.m. this morning. He's halfway up.
If your sport lasts more than like 5 hours, I'm done with that. Okay, I can't.
But it's inefficient too. Like when I'm watching the downhill skiing, I never miss it. It's one of my favorite events at the Olympics, and I love it. It's tense. But why is it just one at a time? Let's put 3 people at a time, 4 people at a time. You gotta just teach his own. You move them out of the way. First one down wins.
I've realized that a lot of our sports that we want to see happen involve a lot of violence in the middle of it. Like, I just proposed something where people are going 100 miles an hour with a lance, hoping to stab the other person in the chest while they're on skis. I would be wildly entertained by it. You tell me, is that
Brett, you
that
would've been-
sport that I've invented, which is ski jousting, would that not be the most watched event in the Winter Olympics the first year?
Brett, you would have been a big hit in Rome about
yeah.
45 AD. You would have been real popular then.
I'd have been that
Tigers
dude in
and
the toga.
elephants
I've been
and-
like, get him!
right.
Hey,
Kill him!
our boy,
You would,
our
dude.
boy Doug,
You do.
our boy
dude, you
Doug
would have been.
Ottewell, our boy Doug Ottewell just texted me. This is the most brilliant text I've ever read on this show. Altitude television. People who run altitude television. If you're listening to me, if you listen to anything I've ever said, this is a must. Doug suggests, can we get a Manning cast but a Mosier cast for a handful of Olympic events, starting with cross-country skiing?
Please.
Do you know I would just shut everything down and watch Mosier comment on
Yes.
whatever sport he puts in front of us with the Olympics? I would put anything down and just watch.
I would do that. We couldn't get the rights to the games though, unfortunately. But
That's the problem.
NBC should hire me. We should have like a special what the hell channel where we're able to get on there and go, look at this guy.
Yeah,
I mean, look at
that's
this guy
where
with
it
his
ends,
snot
folks.
frozen on the side of his face.
Yeah,
what an idiot!
If you think the NFL is protective of its rights, you should see the Olympics. They won't let you do anything. So no, that would never happen.
We got a few minutes here. I did want to bring something up from yesterday that I actually was surprised by. Did you guys catch any of the skills competition stuff in the NFL?
It was fun.
It was really fun.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't think I would. I thought I'd be old man. But how about the one where they lined up the quarterbacks and they had all the holes, the targets where they had to throw the ball into, and a receiver sitting there trying to stop them from doing
a secondary player.
A secondary. Is that who that was?
Yep.
That was cool.
So if you guys missed it, like they had some really cool, fun events. So here's the one Vic's talking about. So this is Kirk Cousins. It's that thing that you see in sports bars. They get the mini footballs with the holes in there, and you got to throw them through the holes, right? But they have corners and safeties that if they pick the ball off, it's -3 points, and they try and block it from going into these different point total things. And it was a ton of fun. I was so into it. I turned it on, Vic, and I was like, all right, I'll just give this a shot. And I watched for like 45 minutes straight without changing the channel.
You. It combines like the soccer PK with just accuracy of the quarterback's arm and a little bit of everything. Like that guy's a goalie, like in the World Cup.
And as you can notice, Kirk Cousins can't throw it into the holes at all.
He misses.
He can't even hit the target.
I mean, it's just brick after brick on this guy. But that was fun.
Wait, hold on. This is the guy who threw 68 touchdown passes the past 2 years?
Yeah, that's the same guy.
But give me some of that.
They had that event. They had another one for quarterbacks where it was wasn't defenders, but they had the little tackling dummies were moving around. You had to hit them on the go, and they had that stuff.
If they just did that all week and did not play the Pro Bowl game,
yes.
The Pro Bowl game is the biggest waste of time in all of sports. Will we all agree on this?
Ever.
Will we all agree on this?
Total waste.
I mean, look how fun this is. I mean, this is the one where, look, they got all the different targets that are moving around, a couple of stationary ones, and quarterbacks just have to hit it.
Where is the Pro Bowl this year?
Vegas.
Yeah, they got Vegas and the NHL.
Oh, they got little robots out there, and Russell Wilson's plunking them. That's pretty cool.
So I like the robots. I like robots.
Yeah, I like robots, man.
So
that's cool.
This one was cool. They had basically it was their version of the slam dunk contest, which is they had wide receivers and I think a couple of corners. Most they would jump on a trampoline before hitting like a gym mat or something like that, and it would be who can make the coolest catch. So Trayvon Diggs did a flip and caught it like one-handed on one of them. It was so cool.
That's pretty cool.
But see, you know why we like that? Because who doesn't do that as a kid? You're jumping off a couch, you have your hey, catch this, but you got to flip or dive.
Or
you do that as a kid growing up.
Jump into the pool and catch
into the pool, right? 100%.
All right, so I think Marty's pulling this up now. So, Trayvon Diggs jumped off and did like the Buffalo break through the folding table thing.
Yeah,
like I said, it's
he's
sort of got
jumping out of the back of a pickup. Is he jumping out of the back of a? He's jumping out of the back of a truck, man.
No, I know, but there's
pickup truck.
Other people use like trampolines and stuff like that too.
Oh, okay. So he chose the truck. Bring the truck over here. I'm going to jump out of the truck.
It's like this the dunk contest where like bring me a prop. I'm going to jump over the top of it. That sort of thing. And then the other one that they had was they had the fastest man alive or fastest player in the league or something. So it was Micah Parsons, Tyreek Hill, Nick Chubb, and somebody else who I'm missing right now. But
DJ Metcalf?
No, not DK Metcalf. Trayvon Diggs again. Trayvon Diggs was in it.
DK.
Guess who won? Micah Parsons did. Now, if you watched this race, Tyreek Hill did not seem to very much care about winning that race. He was literally like, some guys were in a 3-point stance like they were getting ready for the 40-yard dash.
He was
and
just
Tyreek
jacking around.
Standing straight up like this. Yeah. So he wasn't giving much effort to it, but still, I watched Micah Parsons with his shirt off.
What an athlete.
Look at this guy. How do you move like that when you look like him?
He's a linebacker.
Tyreek Hill's not even trying, dude.
No, Tyreek wasn't trying. No.
Tyreek Hill's just smiling. Let's be honest. If that's a real race, Tyreek Hill wins that by 10 yards.
Oh, of course he does. Yeah.
Well, dude, he's wearing like jeans and a sweatshirt.
Dude, Micah Parsons' chain I think would hang down maybe to my belly button. It looks like a dog collar on him. It's like so tight around his neck because his neck has more muscles than my entire body does. Anyway, you know what? Bravo, NFL. That was really cool. I was into it. Nice job. And you should make the whole weekend that.
Now that I see that the Olympics, the Winter Olympians, if they're so tough in the snow, they should go skiing too. I want to see your torso. Let's go.
Oh, you want them to go shirtless?
Down the mountain shirtless. Oh, jeez. Let's go.
I want to see.
Let's go, figure skaters.
They can train at my house. Because that sucked yesterday, the day before.
To be fair, figure skaters are essentially shirtless. They have like a piece of nylon that is, you can see through it. It's transparent. It's so thin.
But, having seen the Academy Award-winning movie Blades of Glory.
Great movie.
Oh, yes. Shawshank Redemption and Blades of Glory, the two best movies ever.
I have a huge appreciation for figure skating because, honestly, those blades are right there by
They're right in your face.
And the guys throw the gals into the air and they spin a billion times and they land on the toe. I'm like, man, that's pretty impressive stuff, man. The pairs.
Why don't the gals ever throw the guys?
Jump. And then they spin I spin around, play with my dog, and I'm like, whoa, whoa. Like, right? And they're like,
be fair, Moshe. If we're talking, and this is with all due respect, anything athletic with you have had a ripped that you said pulled pork like Achilles tendon because you faked jumping once, and then you broke your wrist curling.
You just admitted on live radio you broke your wrist doing the most recreational endeavor known to man.
What did you
curling? It's like bocce ball.
Did you rip a hammy doing Dance Dance Revolution like 10 years ago too? Like what else happened?
Could have.
Dude, that's so unathletic.
May have.
Vic, tell me you couldn't see this happening. That at Mosher's little party that he's having tomorrow, there's a DDR machine and he starts dancing on it, that he rips an Achilles again.
You'll break something, dude. I'm telling you.
Hey,
sir, how'd you break your jaw? Dancing?
Tried chewing gum and walking.
Have you ever curled, Jack? Have you ever curled? Seriously, have you ever curled?
Yes, I did. There's a curling center right by my house here. Right by Colorado Mills. The curling center. That's the place in the Denver area. Outside of Colorado Springs.
Not 12-ounce curls, Kane. We're doing real curling sometime. And I want to see if you survive.
I'll curl your ass. Let's go.
You're going to walk out. You're walking out with a limp.
You want your ass curled? I'll do it.
You'll get you want your ass curled? You may think
Busted it out.
You may beg for it.
Yeah, Marty, just go. Just go.
Can I call you mine? Are we taking it slow? I can't read your mind. Sometimes I feel like I'm here alone. Don't need a wedding vow. Just tell me how you in or out. It ain't fair, baby. The way you got me hanging on. You got me hanging on. Oh, you got me hanging on. You got me hanging on. Oh, baby, the night that we met was amazing, but it feels like your love has gone missing. Oh, nah, nah, nah. Show me I'm the one you want. 'Cause it's everything or nothing. If you wanna be with me, I need you all and nothing less than. I can't go on in between. 'Cause it's everything or nothing. Okay, you're a superstar, but I'm a supernova. Better claim your prize, otherwise cut and scene, game over. Do we call it love, or do we call it off? There ain't no maybe. I just can't keep holding on. I can't keep holding on, no. I can't keep holding on. I can't keep holding on. 'Cause it's everything or nothing. If you wanna be with me,
The Nuggets finally return to Ball Arena tonight to take on the Pelicans. Just beat the Pelicans not too long ago. It looks like Joker and AG are going to be back in the lineup for the Nuggets tonight. And
Joker's going to go off tonight, by the way.
I'd hope, yeah.
Well, I'm not going to throw water on any of your hopes and dreams because I expect the Nuggets to win as well. But make note of a couple things. That's what I'm here for, to make note. Number one, New Orleans has won 4 straight games. Number 2, New Orleans has also won 10 of 16. Number 3, the last time the Nuggets played New Orleans, they played without Brandon Ingram, who has been a thorn in the Nuggets' side for quite some time.
Wait. What did you say about the Pelicans winning what? They beat Detroit 111-101, but they lost their previous 4 beyond that. They lost to Cleveland, they lost to Boston, they lost versus the Nuggets, and they lost to Philly.
Wait.
What the hell are you doing?
Hang on. Don't say a word, Vic. Don't say a word. Not a word until I look something up real quick. Hold on. Not a word. That is the most egregious, awful mistake you've ever made on this show somehow. You said that they won 10 of their last 15?
No, I didn't say that. That's wrong. I misread this. It said New Orleans had a stretch going where they were 10-6, and then they started losing.
They've lost 6 out of the last 9.
So my timeline was off.
Including 4 in a row. The hell are you looking at?
So forget. Let's go ahead and rewind. Start the music again, Marty, like we're coming out of break.
No.
Like we're coming out of break.
No.
All right, here we go. Start the segment again. Welcome back to Altitude Sports Radio, 92.5.
The Nuggets play at Ball Arena tonight against the New Orleans Pelicans. Vic, what's the matchup look like tonight?
Denver's won 4 in a row against New Orleans. And the Pelicans had a stretch a while back where they won a 10 of 16 and 4 in a row. I'm not sure when that stretch occurred, but they had that stretch. So be wary of the Pelicans.
I mean, I can't think of Vic reading the internet wrong. Like a better example. It's unbelievable.
New Orleans has won 4 straight games.
You went full Ed Sprinkle, man.
But here's the thing. You have to listen, Moshe.
New Orleans has also won 10 of 16. Number 3, the last time the Nuggets played New Orleans, they played without Brandon Ingram. That one's correct because that one came from my mind.
I don't believe
you. No, that one came from my brain. The other 2 came from this piece of paper that I'm reading. The computer.
Mosier, I trust you when it comes to reading the internet. I don't feel like you get that wrong all that often. But you said that the Pelicans have lost 4 of their last 5. And I said, that would mean Vic is so wrong. There is no way that Vic got it that wrong. And yet, it still happened. I don't even know how to move on from this, to be honest.
Make note of a couple things. That's what I'm here for. Make note. Just chalk it up to bad material.
What are you reading?
I'm reading the note. We get notes. We get notes on the game. We get daily notes, like trends and stats, right?
Well,
so I'm reading this.
Your notes guy must be the most uninformed son of a gun on the planet, man.
No. I just read it wrong. That's all I did. Is I read it wrong. I started it mid-sentence rather than reading the first part of the sentence. And it's just
gracious.
It's an honest old man mistake. That's all it is. Just an old man's mistake.
Quickly it happened. It almost reminded me of Ed Sprinkle when Mosier dropped one of the first African American players, and it took me 2 seconds to Google a picture of Ed Sprinkle. I said, "Wait, what did you just say?" Anyway.
That's funny. Okay, so disregard everything else Vic has to say about this game tonight, despite he'll be working it. My matchup predictor has the Nuggets at over 82% in this game, and they are a 6.5-point favorite. I said I think Joker's going to get off tonight, and you said, don't be so sure, and that's when you started down the path of destruction. I think you get
all right,
these
let me
guys a
make
couple
this
days
easy.
off.
Let me make this easy on you. These are the games that scare me.
Why? Joker and
Because
AG, they had the night off the other night, dude. They're well rested. They're going to come into tonight. Ball Arena's going to be thumping. It's going to be awesome.
Have you learned anything yet? Are you watching sports? Do you watch? These are the games that scare me. Not to say the Nuggets are going to lose. I think they're going to win. But it's not going to be easy.
Well, I don't know. I mean, look, you look through the last however many games the Nuggets have won, with the exception of Milwaukee, how many have been easy? You know what I mean? Like, you'd have to go back to the Lakers and Portland sort of back-to-back games that they had to find, like, real blowout type of wins. Like, look, they played, I don't know the date on this, but 4 games ago they played the Pelicans. They won 116-105. The game was closer than 116-105 would indicate. They just, this is how it goes. But I'm with Moj. If Jokic and Gordon got a night off, I'm expecting them to be fresh and ready to go where at least you have that in your back pocket.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
and
fair.
again,
I'm just saying, don't get all big pants on me.
Okay.
Don't go all big pants.
What I'm looking at tonight, I'm very curious to see what the rotation is going to be and what Michael Malone decides to go with. Will Davon Reed get more time? I mean, his energy level is good, and we talked about Austin Rivers and about what his role should be going forward. So right now, I guess it's all hands on deck, and you go with a hot hand while you can. It's all you can do if you're Michael Malone. But I'm just curious to see how it works out tonight. Curious.
So that game right here, Altitude Sports Radio 92.5, you can listen there. Again, if you guys missed Mosier's breakdown of which sports should be allowed and which ones shouldn't in the Olympics, we'll have a supercut for you a little bit later in the show. Michael Lombardi in 20 minutes. And look, this is that weird week where it's the week before the Super Bowl, so there's just nothing really happening here. We've been for the last 5 months, there's been something on Saturday, Sunday as far as football related, and now there's nothing, and I feel empty.
There's NHL skills competition tonight, correct? Am I reading my paper right here?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, that is correct.
All right, so
you nailed it.
Who are the Avs throwing out there? What events are the Avs participating in tonight? Makar, what's he doing? Fast man? Fast skater?
Fast man.
How the hell would I know? I don't know.
You don't
Am
know
I in Vegas?
What
Am I in
events?
Vegas? Jesus. I really don't know, to be honest with you. I really have no
what a
idea.
stretch. Excuse me, Brett, and excuse me, everybody, that I wouldn't ask the play-by-play man of the Colorado Avalanche to tell us what events the Avalanche players are participating in. Oh, my goodness. What a stretch.
So
I really have no idea. But you know what they are doing, Kaner? Real quick.
I can answer his
They
question.
have that. Okay, who is it? What are they doing?
Cale Makar's in the Fast Man competition. Yes, it's
Fast man, okay. Fast guy.
Verizon
Super fast dude.
NHL fastest skater. Makar will be participating in that, and I think that's the end of the list as far as oh, never mind.
Kadri's not doing anything?
No. I don't think he is. It's I'm looking at this now. It says participants in, is it the Breakaway Challenge? He might be in the Breakaway Challenge. His name's on something, but it just says Las Vegas NHL 21 in 22, and I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Typically, they have the competition named ahead of it.
So. Oh no! That's where you have to. They got. I think they have to shoot the puck and make the best poker hand.
That's
I
right.
think it's the best poker hand.
That's what it is. So he's Kadri's going to be in the competition where it's I think it's a game of 21. You're playing blackjack.
So it's blackjack. Okay, so you
have
gotta
to shoot the
pucks
puck
to the giant board.
Yes,
right.
yes, to the board. That's right. So there's your two competitions.
And make the best hand.
Oh, so you're actually playing a game of blackjack?
I think
Correct.
so. Yes.
By shooting pucks at the big board. Yeah.
So it's like a sharpshooter competition. It's an accuracy with your shot thing.
And then they have these things inside the fountains at the Bellagio. I mean, on the water, they have these big. The guys are going to be out there on fake guys, but they're going to be doing stuff from the fountains to the fountains. I'm not there. I don't know. I can't see it. I went to St. Louis in 2020. I had a great time. Super fun.
As we get to break, Marty, can you do me a favor? Clip this segment and send it to the Colorado Broadcasters Awards Association and let them listen to this, and we're guaranteed to come home with some hardware back in 3 minutes. All right, so we talked to Legwald yesterday, and he mentioned that him and a lot of guys from ESPN did this whole collaborative article about the quarterbacks that are available this offseason, where they think they're going to go, and a whole bunch of different things. Part of this was, Aaron Rodgers and the trade proposal that Leggy gave to Rob Domofsky, the Packers beat reporter for ESPN, was this. 2 firsts this year, next year, a second and third rounder this year, along with a wide receiver or tight end from the roster. Basically, take your pick, Packers, whoever you want, you can take one. And that was turned down by Rob Domofsky. He said he doesn't think the Packers are going to do that deal, and not just that, they won't do any deal. But if you guys have been kind of paying attention, I know we've had fun with this, with the day 6 stuff, but I think we're all kind of Aaron Rodgers burnout right now. I did notice, though, The odds have been really, really dwindling for him coming back to Green Bay. If you look at all these sports books, the number keeps dropping and dropping and dropping. And the Broncos' chances of landing Aaron Rodgers keep rising and rising and rising. And I'm trying to figure out why.
It did this last May, too, if you remember. Remember last May, those odds, it was almost 50-50, the Packers and the Broncos at one point, and everybody was all, oh, it's going to happen, and it never did.
Right. Well, I guess the difference here is this year, if Rodgers says he wants out, he's going to get out, right? That's the agreement that they came to last year, is that I'm going to give you one more year, and then if I say I'm out, then we're all going to find a solution to get me out of here.
I love the agreement on pay. I love it. Like, hey, let's agree to part ways. It's still very costly for Green Bay.
Sure it is.
I mean, look at the dead money that they have to accrue to make it happen if they trade him. It's going to cost them, no matter what, a ton of money. It's not as easy as San Francisco parting company with Jimmy G. They part company with Jimmy G, and it's $1 million off the books. Boom, see you later. We're talking about what is the total that's going to cost them in dead money in Green Bay? Like something like 26, 27 million?
I thought it was more than that.
Well, no, his total contract, hang on, his total contract is a 1 year, $46 million deal, but they wouldn't take all of that cash.
No. It would be. It's the signing bonus that accelerates to the cap.
Yeah,
it's a hell of a whack to take. I guess if you're the Green Bay Packers, though, you have to decide at what point are you going to just rip the Band-Aid off. I mean, the brain damage. If he truly wants out, the brain damage of bringing him back, or forcing his hand to report, is it worth it? Or do you just rip the Band-Aid off, you eat the cap, and say, okay, thanks for everything, Aaron, bye-bye?
This is what I find interesting about this, though. I think that if you're in this camp of it's still the Packers' fault for Aaron Rodgers not winning, you can't do that. Like, he won the Super Bowl. Was it 2011 when he won the Super Bowl? Was that the year? So we're talking over 10 years ago is the only time he's appeared in one. Rodgers would need to take some self-inventory here and say, what have I done to not get us back to that point, right? You'd have to. This long into it. Like you go back to last year. Yes, the NFC Championship game, you didn't run it in. This year, you were on your home field and you lost 13-10 to San Francisco. That is partly
Jimmy
on
Garoppolo,
you.
and you look at Garoppolo's numbers and they are nauseating.
Yeah.
And you lost to that on your home field in 7-degree weather? Come on, man. Yeah, self-inventory.
You bring up a good point.
Is an excellent way to put it, Kaner.
If anybody could play the blame game, how about a guy like Burrow who got sacked 9 times in that divisional playoff game? Like, hey, anybody want to lay a hand on a defender here? Or am I going to do this all by myself?
Or the Rams losing 4 fumbles and allowing Tom Brady to come back and tie the game late. You know what I mean? Like,
but if you're Burrow, you're like, guys, up front, your job is to block people. Okay, can we start doing that now? Is that cool? I mean, you could have had a lot of excuses, and everybody knows how atrocious that Bengals offensive line is, but you find a way. And if you're great, you find a way. Listen, Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback, but is he a great winner? There's a difference, I think.
Moshe, I know we're going to spend all of next week breaking down the Super Bowl, right? But upon early glance, the Bengals have struggled at the right guard position immensely. Like they've had rotations in the right guard. Aaron Donald sits there. That's where he makes a living.
That's his house. That's
in
his
that
house
spot
right there. Yep.
Oh my God! I can only imagine. What are they going to do
and then,
to deal with Aaron Donald?
It's not just that, Vic. Let's say that your plan to deal with Donald is double team every play, triple team if you have to. Well, then what? Then Vaughn's one-on-one on the outside. Then Leonard Floyd's one-on-one. Like, you still have some issues that you have to deal with. And, going back to this, it's like, if I'm Rodgers at this point, do I even want to come back for this reason? Do you feel like, hey, man, I've been here for how long now? 15, 16 years? I've only been here once? Wouldn't you just want to move on just for that, if nothing else? It's like, I feel like I've done kind of all I can do here. Maybe if I go somewhere else, it can help. But when we were talking to Leggy yesterday, he kind of walked us through this and said the trade that they were doing in this article didn't work, right? Domofsky said no, the Packers beat reporter. So we said, okay, so the next step is Teddy. So here's what he has for Teddy. The Broncos, I'm sorry, I'll just read this real quick, Marty. He gives Teddy Bridgewater a 2-year deal, $39 million, $20 million guaranteed, is what Leggy said about Teddy Bridgewater. And I don't think that I have this queued up in the right spot, Marty, so don't worry about it. But I remember, Vic, when he said that, you said, I think the fan base would revolt if they brought back Teddy. And Leggy said, well, he did have them on the cusp of the playoffs. And that stuck with me because I'm like, yeah, he did. Remember, they were 7-6, right, when they played against Cincinnati, and both teams were like in the same spot. But my thought was, okay, every team was on the cusp of the playoffs right then and there. You know, like every team was still in it.
Well, we have a perfect example. Cusp of the playoffs. The Cincinnati Bengals visited Mile High Stadium 7-6. The Denver Broncos were 7-6. Both teams were on the cusp of the playoffs. Both teams went into that game having to win, basically, right? One team did. The other team didn't. One team's in the Super Bowl. The other team fired its entire coaching staff.
Well, one team won, Vic, and then continued to win. And the other team lost and continued to lose. And that's the thing. It's like, okay, you were on the cusp of the playoffs. Was that because of Teddy? Or was Teddy kind of holding them back from being something better? I think that's a fair question.
And this is not necessarily a condemnation of Teddy's play. But I think Broncos fans look around and they look at the division, they look at Joe Burrow and what he's doing, and these guys are impossible to find. But you say, yeah, we're bringing Teddy back on a 2-year deal. I think the reaction is, oh, man. Oh, you know, you're like a teenage kid. You say, get out of bed. We got to mow the lawn. Oh, come on. I think that's what the reaction of the fan base is. Not that it's not an indictment on Teddy really at all, other than the fact that can this guy take you to where you want to go, or do you need to keep looking for the guy that will? That's what people want. They want their own next guy, dude.
But here's the other thing,
going through this revolving door for the last half decade or more, and it's gotten tiresome to the fan base. I don't blame them.
Would we all be on board with this if I told you that they kept Teddy here, even if it's at that deal? And that's a lot of money, right? But it's not too much if you're a starter. $20 million a year is not a lot for a starter.
And then what, you draft Kenny Pickett or you draft Corral or you draft somebody like that?
Let's say, yeah, you take somebody like that, Malik Willis, whoever it is at number 9. That at least takes the sting out of it because you're like, okay, at least you've tried to address it, and so we can live with this for a year if you want to sit this guy down for a season. But here's the other argument that you could make. And how do you guys feel about this? Because we all kind of agree. Pat Shurmur was not good last year, yes? I mean, how many times did Leggy say he did not use the personnel correctly? Would you believe that with Teddy, if he has a better play caller, which we're all hoping that Hackett would be, that the results would be different? Maybe those games that you lost by a couple of points go to your favor because of that.
You can make the same argument for Drew Lock, though. You can make the same argument for anybody. You can make the same argument for Vic Fangio. Would you say that if Vic Fangio was given Aaron Rodgers, he'd be better?
Yeah, but
would you say that?
I'm not saying that, though, Vic. It's not a change of quarterback. What I'm saying is if it's the same thing, like Teddy comes back and it's just a different play caller, would that make a difference?
But you could refit pieces everywhere and say, would that make this or that better?
Sure.
I think we're at that juncture, and correct me if I'm wrong, Broncos fans. You tell me. React to this question. I think sometimes change happens for the sake of change, and the notion of bringing back any of those quarterbacks is just like, we're over that, right?
Yeah.
No,
good point.
I can only speak for myself, and I think people just want change for the sake of it.
It's a great point.
Nothing personal.
I'm with you.
It's just let's go.
Yeah,
move.
And not that they think the next guy is going to be great, but just give me something different.
But it's
man.
not that.
I know what this is. Give me something different.
Right.
Hey, listen, I've been eating hot dogs for a week. Now, you may give me, a Spam sandwich that tastes like crap, but it's something different. Just give me some Spam.
We got Mike Lombardi coming up here in just a few minutes, have him break down a little bit of what happened in the championship games along with the offseason, some of these coaching hires. Michael Lombardi joins us next. Always enjoy our weekly chats with this man. It is Michael Lombardi on the El Mayor Tequila guest line. You can hear him every day on AM 950, the host of the Lombardi line via VSIN, longtime executive in the league, couple Super Bowls to the man's name. Michael, always appreciate the time. And, going back to the games from last week, the championship round, how shocked are you that we have a Super Bowl that features Matthew Stafford and Joe Burrow as the quarterbacks?
Well, I'm really shocked about the Bengals. I mean, look, when you're up 21-3 with the ball on the 1 yard line in 5 seconds, have a chance to score 3 points there, and then get the ball to start the second half, you can get 10 points in what I call the middle eight, which is the last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half. And now the game's 31-3, and the game's over. And so life goes on. 31-10, excuse me. But the Chiefs did not play well in the second half. It's the second time in 2 games they scored 6 points, the Chiefs did, in that second half against the Bengals. And I would say this: if you're a defensive coach and you're watching that tape in your home office or in the office, say you're Vic Fangio or anyone, you're not sitting there saying, wow, the Bengals did something great on tape. You're sitting there saying, if they let us play like this, we could play the Chiefs too. Like, they allowed them to hit the receivers. They allowed them to bump around. I mean, Kelsey got basically tackled on the third down play, and they let it go. And so if that's going to be the case, then everybody's going to look good defensively. And I think this past weekend, what we saw, especially on my show, VSiN, the betting network, is that if they're going to let them play, the over could be in play, and certainly the passing yardage on some of these props will be.
Interesting. It's like, for noted bettors, how much research did you do in the officiating crew and how they call PI and defensive holding? Because it's obviously a factor in these games.
Yeah, no doubt it is. And I think, with Carl Jeffers, he called the most penalties his crew did. And then we had, in the other game, we had Vinovich, who called the least. So it was a dichotomy of two extremes, right? So, but what people don't understand is, especially if you're betting, is that crew doesn't come with them. It's that crew's different than it's an all-star cast. And so you're not going to get the same results of what you got.
What's interesting, though, Michael, is, and I guess this is the way I look at it, either Matt Stafford or Joe Burrow will be a Super Bowl champion. And I guess for Stafford, you say, okay, a long time coming, you finally got there. And for Burrow, are we looking at, again, a Hall of Fame career right now, kicking off with a Super Bowl win in year number 2, and this guy is going to be the next Aaron Rodgers or whomever?
Well, we remember Dan Marino in 1983 as a rookie, and the 5th quarterback picked in that draft went to the Super Bowl in 84 and Super Bowl 19 and never went again. So you never can say, but certainly Burrow is impressive. He's unbelievable in what he can do. And this offense, I mean, what is remarkable about Burrow to me is his ability to get hit and not affect him. His ability to get hit and not affect him is something that is hard for any quarterback. I mean, usually quarterbacks are like boxers, right? So their eye level, and this is why yards per attempt is so critical, is because yards per attempt indicate, is the quarterback looking down the field or is he throwing checkdowns? When you say, well, he's got, he's 19 for 20 on completions, who cares, right? If he's averaging 4 or 5 a throw or 6-5 a throw, that isn't good enough, right? But the average 8 above is what you need to do to win a championship. And usually the more hits a quarterback takes, that eye level comes down and that yards per attempt comes down because he's scared of the rush. He's worried about it. Who wouldn't be? It's human nature. But this kid's remarkable. As much as he gets hit, it's unbelievable. But here's another factor to consider. The Bengals have one of the worst offensive lines in all of football. You can't argue with it. I don't care what Pro Football Focus's grades give them or not. I could care less. They're the worst offensive line in all of football. In the past 2 games, they haven't been called for holding once.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. And on top of that, you and me were kindred spirits on this, I believe, if I remember correctly, going back to the week prior, the overtime, and everybody saying the coin flip is what lost the game for so-and-so. Wasn't it great to see a coin flip in overtime where the defense actually stepped up and played some defense in that OT period and got the ball back for once?
They did play defense, but let me say this. Those 3 passes in overtime will go down in Patrick Mahomes' 3 worst passes of his career. I mean, they were horrendous. The first pass off to his left is 10 feet above the receiver. The second pass to his right on the slant is 4 yards behind the receiver and should have been intercepted. And the third pass he makes, he throws it into coverage, and he tries to waft it over one defender in front of another. Tough throw, and he gets that picked off. So,
Michael, I was going.
I think I was going was horrible.
Yeah, what's he? I'm thinking, what's he doing? What's he doing? What was your reaction when you see him throwing, like you said, the three worst passes, but then the last one is into double coverage?
I think he was just really, he was really, really frustrated, not because of what they were doing. He just didn't have control. I don't know if he was hurt. It looked to me like if I was in the press box, I would be, did he get hit? Is he concussed? Is something going on? Because he didn't look like Patrick Mahomes. Now, look, we're not allowed to say a bad word about Patrick. Even during the season when he wasn't even up for any of the MVP you couldn't say a bad word because he's a great player and you're not allowed to say a bad word. But great players sometimes don't play great. And I would say this year was not a great year for Patrick Mahomes.
Michael, before we let you go, VEASAN based in Vegas, Vegas Raiders make a new hire. We know Josh McDaniels, the old Josh McDaniels here in Denver, very well. What do you make of that hiring, and what is the scuttlebutt down in Sin City?
Well, look, you guys have an opinion of Josh, and I certainly respect it. I know Josh well. I've known Josh before he went to Denver, and I knew Josh the day after he got fired in Denver. We spent the next week together and went over pretty much Denver and what happened and what caused it. And he certainly takes responsibility for it. But if anybody thinks he's the same guy that he was 33 years old in Denver that he is today, then they don't count him for being smart. They don't count him for being able to grow as a human, grow as a father, grow as a husband, grow as a coach, right? So I think he's definitely done that. And I think he understands it, and he admitted it as such in his press conference that, hey, look, I wasn't very good here. I try to do things that I wasn't capable of doing. It's what we call not having experience. It's one of the factors when you hire so many young coaches. And then you don't have an ability to go to somebody to help you. When Kennedy became president in 1960 and everybody was talking about the greatness of Camelot, he hired Harold Macmillan, the older prime minister from Britain, to come in and advise him so he could have some help. He needed experience. And I think ultimately, as Josh has accepted the faults that had happened in Denver, that he's done that, and he spent a long time going over it. I don't think he's going to make the mistakes the second time.
Yeah, he surrounded himself with a bunch of yes men his first time around, and perhaps he understands that's not how it works. Hey, last one, and I know this is a tough one, Mike, because of the nuance and the complexity. It's a tough one to answer on a radio show, but the Rooney Rule obviously hasn't worked. It isn't working. 19 years. What do you do? How do you fix it? How would you approach it?
Well, I think the Rooney Rule allows African Americans to get in front of the people that do the hiring. I would, and I've said this on my podcast, I've said this on VEASAN, I would take all this wealth that these owners have accumulated, and I would open up a leadership academy for minority candidates in all levels, high school, college, and professional. And I would teach leadership. I wouldn't teach how to run the West Coast offense and 20 bingo cross and why smash. I would teach pure leadership. I would develop leaders like the Army, the Marines, the Navy, the Air Force develops leaders. I would teach leadership. I would have a 6 week, 6 month. I would have courses all year long, and I would do it for free. And I would develop as many leaders as I could, because when they get in that interview as a leadership and they demonstrate that unique leadership quality that Mike Tomlin demonstrates and other coaches, how do you turn that down? I think that's what the league needs to do. Instead of saying interviews where then people could say, well, they're not qualified, get everybody more qualified.
And on top of that, Michael, part of this that's kind of gotten buried in the middle of it was this allegation that Stephen Ross was going to pay Flores $100,000 a game that for every game that he loses. If this turns out to be true, you can't let Stephen Ross own a team in this league still, right? If they're talking about fixing games?
I don't think it's true. I can't imagine that. How would you pay that? Yeah. I mean, Stephen Ross isn't Tony Soprano. He's not going to go out to his duck feeder and take $100,000 in cash and give it to him. How do you pay that?
That's a great point.
How do you pay that? I mean, how does that happen? I'm not saying they didn't want to lose. I mean, look, the first two games of the season, I think they lost by a combined 100 points. But, they got it better. And the argument here is that Flores is alleging and he certainly is entitled to his opinion, that Ross came to him and made that offer, but they never executed because he was never going to lose. To me, the Hugh Jackson claims are ridiculous because Hugh Jackson, they weren't trying to lose. I know Jimmy Haslam intimately. He wants to win all the time. He suffers through it. So I think you've got to peel it back. And I think what Spores is saying is this was what they wanted, and because he wanted to keep winning, that caused the disconnect.
You know, and then the last thing, I'm sorry, because you brought up Hugh Jackson. The one thing that I was thinking about, like, if there was ever credence to one of these, like, you wanted your head coach to lose. I was wondering after 0-16 how you keep a coach there. And I was like, oh, well, that might make sense, but I'm with you. It's just so hard to put into practice.
Right, and I think the reason he kept them because it was 0-16 is because they knew that they didn't give him a good team, and that they were trying to give him a better chance. I mean, I think what Haslam said yesterday, at some point Hugh has to assume responsibility. Like there's not going to be an asterisk next to his name as an NFL head coach, one of 500 gentlemen that have held that position, and said, well, the owner was trying to lose based on the asterisk. I mean, what would Rich Kotite say? What would some of these other coaches that couldn't win say?
It's Michael Lombardi again, host of the Lombardi Line every day on AM 950 via VSIN. He joins us every Friday. Michael, always appreciate the time. Thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you.
It's Michael Lombardi.
Thanks, Mike.
On the El Mayor Tequila guest line. It is a good point, though. It's like how go to your duck feeder and grab $100,000.
Duck feeder. Who's got it? By the way, I guess I didn't realize that in The Sopranos. Did Tony Soprano have a duck feeder?
What is a duck feeder? I remember him going to the backyard all the time. What is a duck feeder?
Well, I think it's probably an electronic contraption that spits out, food for ducks so that they hang out in your pond or whatever.
Is that what that? Oh, that's where he was going near the pool. He'd always go near his pool and pull out like a plastic bag of cash. I'm not familiar with duck feeders.
If I was rich enough to be an NFL owner, I would definitely have something like that. There would be something in my house where I just open it up and there's just wads of $100 bills inside of it. Because I can. Like I just walk out to it, be like, "You guys want $1,000? Here you go. Got this for you right here."
Like your own
Easy,
ATM.
Yeah.
Eazy-E used to have a stash, and I found it as a youngster.
Yeah, we know you had to pay off Chris Apple to fix your glasses. We know all about these stash.
Vic went out to the duck feeder to get Chris Apple to pay for the glasses that he broke.
I got my hands on that stash at an early age.
And what did you do with it? Did you buy 8 boxes of candy?
I ran the show.
I went to
I operated.
Oh, did you?
I rode the Chipmunk at Lakeside. It was so fun.
I ran North Denver. Is what I did.
All right, so 303-504-0925. You guys want to get drunk takes in about half an hour. Now, there's something we've been waiting to play here, and it's something that Mosier sent us yesterday in a group text because Mosier's got congratulations to Moj and the Bear. They've been married for a while, but they're celebrating it this weekend. So
I can't wait.
In town. Yes, very, very happy for you, Moj.
Yeah.
The Bear's great. But Moj sent us a video of, you might remember Keith Mosier, Mosier's dad. And Marty, can we set this up by playing our introduction to Mosier's dad when he was doing our mock draft? He was picking for, who was it?
Mm-hmm. The Arizona Cardinals.
The Arizona Cardinals, and this was the interaction. Go ahead.
We go live now to Sun City, where we have special guest Keith Mosier to make the Arizona Cardinals pick. Keith, how are you? Keith, are you with us? Keith.
Hello.
Talk to me, Keith. Keith.
Are you going to call me for me to do this or what?
Yes, we sent you the link, and then we did a dry run last week, and it went fine. It was an email. Can you join the meeting? No, Keith, an email. You said you got this. Come on, man.
Please join Zoom meeting in progress.
Did you get the email?
Check my email. No, that's not you. I'm waiting for it to come. Okay, so I press that.
Okay. What do you see? What are your options?
Doesn't do anything. Just nothing. The join options are don't connect to audio.
No.
Or turn off my video.
No, don't do either of those. No, don't do either of those. Neither of those are correct. That's all you see?
It's not up to snuff yet. It's still got the thinking thing going. Yeah, this thing is thinking like it's trying to find the meeting or something. Let me look at my phone and see what it with that stuff.
I mean, come on, man. Keith, you are literally on the clock. You have like 40 seconds. You got to get your together here, bud.
It is so frustrating because I've tried to do everything, pushed every button.
Okay, so you're giving up. That's it?
Hey, I can give you my draft pick, Rocky, now, make this just thing simple.
Keith, you know we got to do it this way. Come on. Last chance, man. What do you see?
Oh, hold on. It's thinking. It's, you know how a circle goes round and round in a circle. Join the meeting. Okay, so I press that.
Yes. Okay, there you are. Well, you have 4 seconds now. Make the pick.
How about Jedrick Wills? Let's go with that guy.
Yes. Okay, all right.
For the 8th pick, I select Jedrick Wills.
All right.
Offensive tackle from
Okay,
Alabama.
yeah, we got it.
For the Arizona Cardinals.
Keith, we got it. Thank you.
Yes, Keith
Now
Mosier.
I know where Mosier gets his inability to stop talking.
Yes.
Okay, we got it. Yep.
So Keith then sent us a video through our group chat yesterday where he threatened us. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. He threatened us. Marty, you have that? Go ahead.
Hey, Lombardi. Yeah, you Lombardi. Hey, come here. I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you and your buddy Kane and that other producer dude. You laughed at me for 3 years. We're settling the score tonight. Come on over here.
He threatened us.
Did he call you? Did he call you Dane?
No. He said Kane, and then he said producer dude.
Producer dude.
He didn't even put the respect on Marty's name. He said producer dude.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good.
He would like a word with all of you this weekend, and I'm sure he's going to get the opportunity.
What is he mad about? That we've made fun of that clip over and over again?
Yes. Yeah, that you roasted him on several occasions. There was other times he came on.
We haven't made fun of him.
It's thinking.
Other than that,
a circle goes round and round in a circle.
Yes, we did. We made a lot of fun of him for that, but not anything else.
When I started talking to him, trying to get it, what the funny part is I started talking to him to try to get this whole thing recorded for the show. And then he couldn't connect, and so then he just started doing this. I can't. It's not up to stuff. I said I gotta record this. I gotta get this on tape. So I just started rolling and just let him go, man. It was so awesome.
How old is Keith? Is he south? Is he north of 90?
This year, Keith will be 80, actually, 79.
Jeez, Vic. Ouch, dude. He's not part of our
What?
show.
I mean, Mosier's 68. Do the math. Mosier's 68, right? We verified this the other day. If Mosier's 68, I would assume his dad is 90.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, why don't you get into an arm wrestling match with a 90-year-old tomorrow night and see how that goes for you.
He seems so angry with us. What did we ever do to him other than we made fun of him a little bit for one video?
We played that time after time.
Well, he was funny.
Time.
It was a compliment to him.
Rocky, now, make this thing simple.
That's where it killed me. When he got so pissed, he started cussing.
It was so funny, man. So good.
Hey, I've got some more Nugget stats for you.
Oh, great.
Please.
The Nuggets have won 4 straight against New Orleans. 4 in a row. They've beaten them 4 times. Yeah, that's true. The Nuggets have beaten. I've verified this one. I've actually read through it. They've won 4 straight against New Orleans. So they've got that win streak going in tonight. And Zion's not playing. So got that for you.
When is Zion ever going to play again?
Thank you for that breaking news of Zion not playing.
Seriously, when is he ever going to play again?
Can you imagine if you're a Pelicans fan? I mean, seriously, because we are, woe is us, right? That's how we treat a lot of things here. If you're a New Orleans Pelicans fan and you drafted and cultivated Anthony Davis, saw him become an all-star, only to have him stolen, basically a hostage crisis, taken from you by LeBron James, right? Mm-hmm. Taken at its peak. Bye-bye. And then you replace him with Zion. And Zion comes in, and he looks like he's the next great one. And dude can't stay healthy. Well, just can't stay on his feet.
On top of that, too, if I'm remembering this correctly, they also had Chris Paul once upon a time, who also decided that he was going to pick up and leave. Because Chris Paul was pretty damn good in New Orleans, too. Those New Orleans Hornets, right?
Yeah. I mean, you talk about a franchise that is in a
foot injection at the new year. He got a foot injection. I don't know. It says 4 to 6 weeks because of his foot injection. I don't know what's going on.
If you were to bet right now, Zion or Michael Porter Jr., who has a longer career? Right now.
That's a great question.
That's a tough one.
Really good question.
I I don't know how to answer it because both of them have the type of injury that is so impossible to predict. I don't know.
I really enjoy New Orleans as a city. And again, I've been there, I guess. I've been there for work and for play. I really enjoy it there. Maybe if I lived there, I wouldn't enjoy it nearly as much. And, Bourbon Street and all that. But I'm talking about, old school New Orleans and the way it's laid out. It's got a cool feel. It's got a cool vibe to it. I wouldn't mind playing there. I guess I don't know why everybody's trying to bug out all the time.
Why should I care about why you like New Orleans?
No, I can understand why guys don't want to, like New Orleans stinks. I mean, maybe the franchise isn't that great.
Yeah, but why do I care about your like of Why do I care that you like New Orleans? And what does that have to do with basketball?
I get what Mosier's trying to say, though. So I got my wife's best friend. She's married to a guy who played offensive line in the offensive line in the NFL for 7 years, and he spent 2 years in New Orleans. And he said it was his favorite place. He was in Chicago, he was in Kansas City, he was in Carolina, and he's like, New Orleans was great. I would have stayed there forever. Why do players want to leave New Orleans so quickly? What is that?
I hate Milwaukee. It's cold, and yet Milwaukee just won an NBA championship.
Well, that's not like a free agent destination.
Dude, New Orleans ain't friggin' Indianapolis, Jack. All right? It ain't Sacramento.
No, I'm defending Moj on this. That's a good point. I like it, Moj. I didn't care that you liked
So
New
we're
Orleans,
basing success on the city if you like it. So that this is what we've come to.
Come on, bro.
No. I'm just saying, why do you guys want to flee?
I like Miami.
Whoa. That's the point. Miami gets free agents. Miami gets them. L.A. gets them. It's nice places to live.
Okay, Brett, I like Orlando. Orlando's nice. How come Orlando isn't
You ever heard
a
of
destination
Jimmy Butler,
port?
Jack? Orlando's, it's Florida, but it's got friggin' SeaWorld and Disneyland. That what else?
I would have assumed Vic is the last guy on earth that would like Orlando. You like Orlando?
Oh, I'm not a Disney. No, I'm just saying it's a nice weather place. Yeah. I'm not a Disney. I don't do lines and stuff like that.
Let's get off New Orleans anyway. The Nuggets should stomp these fools tonight. Write this down. Hell.
You can write this down. Hell, record this.
The Nuggets are going to stomp tonight. The Nuggets are going to stomp the Pelicans.
If you had any foresight, since your dad's in town for the big shindig, you guys should be at the game tonight, at the Nuggets game. You should take them. Show them about town. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, take them over to the TV broadcast right there in that Coors banquet area and put them on with Vic. Let them do a little halftime report.
Watch the game. Friday night, Ball Arena. It's going to party.
Do you know how much I would pay to have a Keith Mosier halftime report for the Nuggets game on Altitude Television? Come on, bro.
He watches them from down in Arizona. He watches them. How about, I don't know, how many tickets can you get me tonight, Vic?
Are you asking if you can get... You are the voice of the Colorado Avalanche. You mean to tell me that you can't use any connections to get a couple tickets to a Nuggets game tonight for your dad?
20.
For your father?
20. I need 20. Can you hook me up with 20?
Okay, take it easy.
I need 10
take
for
it
the
easy,
Super Bowl.
Jesse.
Can you help me?
Wait a minute. You need 20? You're asking for a whole section of the stadium to yourself?
Do you realize you're meeting tomorrow? Do you know how many people are coming into town today? Do you understand?
Well, you go there like a keep to leave, and you say, you make the cut, you don't. Sorry, you're going to stay home tonight. I'm
20.
taking Keith out.
Let's go.
20 tickets.
Come on,
Vic.
go.
20 tickets. Let's go.
Lay them on me.
Let's go.
Not everybody has to go. Make the call. You stay home. You guys go. God.
So, again, you can hear that game, Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Tonight, the Nuggets taking on the Pelicans. Take a quick break here, back in 3 minutes.
Ooh, I got something for you. Yes, I do. Superbook. co.superbook.com. Go there right now. It's the biggest football game of the year. All right, we know what it is. And during this commercial, I'm not allowed to call it what it is, the game. I don't know. Some trademark, whatever. You know the game I'm referring to, right? Superbook is celebrating by offering its biggest bonus yet. Make your first deposit right now on superbook.com or on the Superbook app. They will match 100% of your money up to $1,000. That's right, $1,000 matched for you to wager on anything, any prop, anything, courtesy of Superbook Sports. So whether you like Cincy and what they've done so far, they're the underdog, or you like the Rams, or you like the over, the under, the flurry of prop bets that are to follow here, get on the superbook.com app, co.superbook.com. Download it today, and remember, any gambling problems, call 1-800-522-4700.
All right, you missed any of the show, check out the podcast, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Moshe Lombardi, and Kane. Michael Lombardi joined us about a half an hour ago. Can you pull up the video, please, again, Marty, from the skills competition in the Pro Bowl from yesterday? Because I like the games that they were playing, but I have to make an amendment to one thing, and it's pretty amazing how this happened. You know, we were discussing Kirk Cousins and, like, what if the Vikings would want to trade Kirk Cousins? Would you take him here? And I was like, you know what? The guy's thrown 68 touchdowns the last couple of years. Moj, I watched this competition where he's trying to throw the ball in these giant boxes with holes in them for points, and he kept missing the entire board, and I've decided, you know what? I'm going to pass on him. Thank you very much. If you can't hit the board, this is like playing darts with somebody. And it's like they're sticking it to the wall. And how can you not hit the board, bro? Come on.
Well,
what is
he
this?
missed the board, but there's also so many holes, and some of them are so big, there's more hole than there is board.
Yes.
And he still can't get it through.
Yeah. That looks fun. I'd like to play that game. That's a game I would play. God, I hope they have that at the Super Bowl. They might have that at the NFL Experience. If they have that there, I'm in.
Do it. You got to do it. You have to do it. Where do they
I'm
put
in.
these boards in the offseason? Like when they're not doing the Pro Bowl, where do they put those? And can we have access? Hey, can we borrow them for about a weekend?
Put it in my backyard.
In fact,
yeah.
In fact, I just think, you know how in soccer penalty kicks, sometimes it's just too easy. It's not hard to make a PK. You got to get really nervous.
You want to make it holes?
That's what I want. I want holes.
So no goalie. You just put that in front of the net and say, kick it in the hole.
Just give me holes.
I mean, you add a layer of intrigue.
Hell yeah.
I mean, because you're right. PKs are pretty easy in soccer. I don't know what's the success rate of a goal in a penalty kick?
I don't know. It's pretty hard to miss. The worst ones are the ones where the dudes just top it up over the goal. I mean, they
kick it over the crossbar.
That's the thing, though.
Those are the worst.
That part of soccer right there is what I love the most, and it's very sucky to say, but the humiliation of missing the entire goal when you kick it.
Bro, when you have the fate of an entire country resting on your foot and how you approach this kick, can you imagine the pressure that comes with that? It's supposed to be a layup, a no-brainer. I mean, you're right there in front of the goal. Just pick a spot. You're a professional player, and you kick it 5 feet over the post.
The success rate in the Premier League for PKs is, take a guess. What do you think it is? Success rate for goals.
I'll say success rate is 75%.
Nailed it. 75.5. Yep, 75.5%.
Goalies are getting better. They're getting savvy. They're doing this little fakey.
Can I share something about how stupid I am for a second? So hang on. I need to back this up. So here's the sentence. Males have scored 75.5% of their penalty kicks, while females have scored on 74% of their penalty kicks. Because this was the Premier League and the first word was males and it had a capital M, I thought that was the name of a city, and I was about to say Malays.
You were about to say Malays.
Malays.
You can't even pronounce it correctly.
I mean, I didn't know how. I was just like, this must be a country or a team I've never heard of. Malays, whatever it is. I almost did it until I saw females right before I started reading, so at least I bailed myself out for a second. But 75%, you're right. Let's put a cardboard box up there with some holes in it, and then a goalie in front. Then show me how good you are. Because what's the success rate, most for penalty shots in hockey?
It's
not nearly as high.
I think it's like probably like 58%. I think I have to look it up.
It's 33.
It's not 33.
Yeah, I was going to say it's less than that.
I'm thinking. I was just looking at the numbers the other night from shootouts with the Coyotes. Wedgwood had given up like. I know this is going to sound crazy. It's just one of those nights, but Wedgwood was 0-3 in shootouts this year. I'm just thinking of his percentages, like stopping 58% of the shots, something like that.
Hey, can I ask you? This is going to be
real quick before you guys are soccer guys now, right? I mean, we went, Vic. You're eating.
I've always been a soccer guy
at the Rapids, right? Okay.
Always been a soccer guy.
Did you watch any of the USA Honduras? Are you paying attention to what the hell's going on?
I saw the highlights. I saw the highlights.
You realize that we missed the World Cup in 2018.
Yeah,
I do. Not invited.
We didn't qualify. I do realize that. Yes, I do realize that.
So this is really heavy duty stuff we're looking at.
And did you see that it was 4 degrees? Did you see what the U.S. did as a tactic to win that game? They were playing Honduras, tropical country, right? And they said, well, let's use it against them. Let's play this sucker in the coldest spot possible. Where they played in Minneapolis?
Yes.
4 degrees for that game. So the Hondurans are like, yeah.
We don't do
okay.
We don't do this.
Okay, I shouldn't say this. This is Brett not
Canada?
being a journalist.
Canada beat the U.S. last week, Brett. Canada beat us in soccer, dude.
That's not acceptable. That's not acceptable.
What are we doing here?
This is Brett not being a journalist and not verifying things beforehand, but I see that, was there, who were they playing again in that game? The U.S. playing in Minneapolis?
Honduras.
Honduras. Was there a Honduran player that left because of hypothermia? Did I see that right?
I think so. Yeah, I think some dude had a reaction to the weather.
I mean, that's brutal cold. It's brutal. But you guys are right. It's like, here's the problem, and I'm with you guys. I'm not going to say like I'm some like huge soccer honk or anything like that, but I like it. I like going to Rapids games. I think they're fun. You can't keep telling me that U.S. is on the brink of turning a corner and then every year the same thing happens again. You can't keep doing this to me or I'm going to start to tune this out. You know what I mean? Like, how many times? It would be like if every year somebody was like, the Broncos, I think they're going to win the Super Bowl this year, and then they go 7-10, and you're like, after like 5, 6, 7 times of you doing this, I'm going to start to tune this out and think you're being stupid. I'm tired of being fooled by the U.S. is right around the corner in soccer from doing something great. I'm tired of it. Because they had that one, what was it, back in 2000, I don't know, it was like, 12 years ago, something like that, where they won a couple of games and they tied it with...
Talking about South Africa.
I think
the
so,
South
yeah.
African run.
Remember, they won
where
a couple
Landon
of games.
Donovan was the hero. And,
yes. Yeah. That was fun. That was actually, I go back to that. My most fun viewing experience watching any sporting event, I went to a bar and they had the, whatever the local chapter was of the hooligans, that I forget the name of them for the U.S., but they had that local chapter there. It was standing room only. People are elbow to elbow. U.S. would score. People are tossing their full beers in the air. You're getting soaked. It's the only time
it's
in
like
my
you're
life.
It's like you're watching Ted Lasso. Like when they're in the bar, they're in the pub.
But what I'm saying is, it's the only time I think in my life where somebody could do that. Throw beer in the air and it would fall directly on me and I wouldn't get pissed. It was a blast watching that.
Bro, the reason why World Cup soccer is so popular and why I'm so in love with it, it's just a fabric of culture. That's all it is. You're so proud of whatever team you're rooting for, and it's fun to watch people get proud of their cultures. It's fun to watch that the drum up of support and just the ultimate. That's why I couldn't imagine more pressure than having to kick a PK for your country. Not your team, your country. Your country's riding on this. There is nothing more pressure-filled. Nothing.
Reading some of the comments of Honduras midfielder Devron Garcia, plays for Orlando SC. He says it was like kicking a rock. And then I read more comments, and all I could think of is Danny Ross. Danny Ross, whom I love in Ted Lasso. Says, during the game, we were at minus 20 degrees C, but the feeling was of minus 30 degrees C because of the wind. It's against the player's health to play in those conditions. Football is to enjoy, not to suffer. I'm like, 100% correct.
I agree.
He's 100% right.
I agree.
He's 100% right. He says, when I struck the ball, it felt like I was hitting a concrete block. Our starting goalkeeper, Luis Lopez, suffered hypothermia. Thankfully, it was just a scare.
Well, I guess the U.S. team, the U.S. team would counter by saying, hold on. They'd say, if we go to Honduras in the heat of the summer or whenever we play, the humidity is so overwhelming and the heat is just ridiculous, and the way the field is set up, you're obviously playing to your advantage. Why wouldn't we?
Hey, speaking of, because that's an international game, and we have the international games, the Olympics, starting today for the Winter Olympics. Mosier went through a whole bunch of them that he would like to see banned from the Olympics because Mosier is better at being Dick Pound than Dick Pound is at being Dick Pound.
There's too many things.
So let's go ahead, Marty, give us the supercut, please.
All right, here's what I've figured out about the Winter Olympics. I like a lot of these sports, a lot of them, but they have too many events inside of each sport. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Oh, I follow.
Alpine slalom, men's and women's, giant slalom, downhill, Super G. Now, it used to just be slalom, giant slalom, and downhill. Then they added a Super G, which is between downhill and giant slalom. Get the hell out of here! Then they have a mixed team event where men and women ski together. No. Just do your thing, ski downhill, and be done. Men and women ski and shoot, and then you get the pursuit where I'm on your ass, and I'm going to catch you, and I'm going to shoot you. Cross-country skiing. Oh, Christ. Good for you. I ain't watching you. All you cross-country folk can get lost. Curling. I have mixed emotions about curling. Because while I appreciate any sport where you can smoke a Marlboro and drink Coors Light and win a gold medal, I broke my wrist curling in Calgary.
No, you
It was
didn't.
hard. All right, just for the cattery of it all, I'll keep figure skating in there because old ladies like it. Yeah, brand new in 2022 is Big Air. What does that mean? They already got that.
Yeah.
All right. Mixed doubles where you lay on each other. I don't need to see that. Done. It's just watching people lay all over each other at 95 miles an hour. It's weird. All right.
But what's the difference between the luge and the Skeletor?
And then dude falls off the end of the ski jump and his parts just fly all in the air. Remember that? Remember seeing that? That was pretty awesome.
Big guts.
Snowboarding. This is where you smoke a spleef at the top and you go into the bowl.
It's perfect.
So good.
Oh, way to go, Moj. Yes, I approve. You are my new IOC commissioner. You get to decide all things. And again, I think
You
my
want to make
idea,
the games fun. That'll make the games fun.
I think my idea for my sport, which I call ski jousting, would be the most watched sport of the Winter Olympics. My idea was you have two giant hills. They go down the hills with a lance, and then there's a flat surface in the middle, and they need to stab each other with these lances going at about 90 miles an hour. I think that would be fun.
I just think a price needs to be paid at the end. There needs to be a payoff. Like the reason why the ski jump for years has been so watchable is there's a payoff.
Like potential disaster.
Either you hit it or you don't.
Could you ever do that, Vic? Brett, they said, okay, I'll tell you what.
Are you kidding me?
We're going to give you
You're kidding me, right? No way.
Vic, if you complete, we'll give you a year to train. But if you can complete a ski jump and land it on the big hill, we'll give you $1 million.
No.
There's no chance I would do it. In fact, if you ask me, Vic, would you rather in his prime, Randy Johnson, because I'm a left-handed batter, Randy Johnson fastball, would you rather step in that, or you don't even know if it's fastball, or do the ski jump? I'd rather get beamed by Randy Johnson. Go ahead. There's no way I would do the ski jump.
I would love chance. I would love to see the evolution, like the Rocky training type video of Vic starting on the bunny slopes with crossed skis to eventually making it in the span of a year to jumping off that giant high jump thing.
Okay, take it easy, Phil Mayer. You're not exactly Mr.
I know.
How many times have you skied?
Zero. But
he has no idea who Phil Mayer is, dude. You shouldn't even have brought that up.
Oh yeah,
you don't know the Mayer brothers?
Yeah, they sing "Your Body's a Wonderland," right?
See, he has no who Bill Johnson is. He has no idea who.
Do you know who Billy the Kid is?
Billy Kid. He has no idea who Billy Kid is.
They're snowboarders, right?
Billy the Kid. Yeah, he was the guy in the Wild West with the guns. I think Emilio
Well, it's not Billy the
Estevez
Kid.
played him.
His name's just Billy Kid. You have no idea who Franz Klammer is or any of these guys.
You don't know Franz freaking Klammer? Franz Klammer is one of the most
Didn't he get
memorable.
murdered that started World War I? Wasn't that a Franz?
How about Moshe? Let's just take some time to go through famous Winter Olympic names of yesteryear.
Okay, so we're way over on break. Hang on to a couple of those names. We got drunk takes coming up. Stick around.
Planing the axis between water and air, grounded in flight. Spinning my mind, contemplating how we got here. Oh, it's a waste of time. Be my dark night, my lover in the moonlight. My legs twist a melody, a smooth, smooth harmony. Be my dark night, my lover in the moonlight. My legs twist a melody, a smooth, smooth harmony. I know that I should be home, but I'm grounded in flight. Life is a close call, I'll catch it on the rewind. I know that I should be home, but I'm grounded in flight. Life is a close call, I'll catch it on the rewind. I'll catch it on the rewind. Hey, I'll catch it on the rewind. I'll catch it on the rewind. Hey, I'll catch it on the rewind. Survive the wolves that reside in the unconscious mind. Baby, sleep tight, zombie in the daylight. Golden eyes want to go outside. Be my dark night, my lover in the moonlight. My legs twist a melody, a smooth, smooth harmony. My dark night, my lover in the moonlight. My legs twist a catch it on the rewind. I know that I should be home, but I'm grounded in flight. Life is a close call. I'll catch it on the rewind. I'll catch it on the rewind. Hey, I'll catch it on the rewind. I'll catch it on the rewind. Hey.
Dua Lipa, do with the Dua Lipa. Oh, with the Dua Lipa.
All right, we got a few minutes. Got drunk takes coming up. What names you got for me? Hit me with some Olympic names that I should know.
One of the greatest Olympians of all time is a guy named Eric Heiden. He was a
Eric Heiden, dude.
His sister also skated.
Where is he hiding?
Dude, he had Bo Jackson thighs. Earl Campbell thighs.
He had huge thighs.
Wouldn't you?
Let me put
Huge legs.
Let me put this on the internet here.
Dude, look
our
up Eric
own
Heiden.
Wi-Fi. Eric Heiden thighs.
Eric
Bring
Heiden
him to me.
thighs. Look those suckers up.
Whoa!
All right, here's a name. Yes.
He's got
Here's
Eric
a name.
Heiden thighs.
This is somebody I mean, you talk about the winter Olympiad. I was in love.
Check these out. Check this out.
It's okay.
Okay. Every
nothing there.
young man of the 80s, every young man of the 80s, my generation, Moj, when I say the name, who was not in love with Katharina Witt?
Oh yeah,
Who?
she was East German, dude.
Who?
So she was like
who? Who was?
I don't know. She was a babe, and she was a commie.
Who?
And so it was kind of like she. and so it was kind of like forbidden fruit, to be honest with you.
I mean, it was like look up Katharina Witt. Just hey. I felt guilty rooting for her, but she was just so hot.
Katarina.
Yeah, she was a figure skater, dude.
I like this. I like being educated. Show me more hot chicks from the 80s.
If you want to go way back, Dorothy Hamill wasn't bad.
Dude, I was like 6 years old, bro. Anyway.
Dorothy Hamill's got a whole bunch of black and white photos, Vic. I mean, how far back we going
I know,
here?
dude. How far back are we going here, dude?
Ingemar Stenmark, remember him?
Oh, yeah. He was from, I think he was a Swedish skier. And this is before they wore helmets. He had just like a toque on with a ball on top going down the hill.
Yeah. Some of these names don't apply, folks, because they came a little later. Alberto Tomba the Bomba. He was a little later.
Yeah,
he wasn't in 80s.
Awesome. He was Italian.
He was a stud. He's an Italian skier. He pulled, too.
Come
Dude,
on,
he
bro.
pulled.
Apollo Anton Ono, I know who that is. That's way too.
That's too
way
late.
Too
That's too late. Yeah, that's way too recent. Dude, Alberto Tomba pulled.
Well, he was in the same Olympics as Katharina Witt. He said, what did he say? If she doesn't win, I'll give her one of my gold medals. Like he's working that angle. Yeah. Yeah.
The forbidden fruit strikes again.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, dude, I remember she was East German, okay? So they were still, under the control of the Soviet Union at that time.
I love your description, though. She was hot. She was a commie.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
She wanted out. She wanted out.
No, she wanted out, too, yeah.
Hey, before we get to drunk takes, Marty, do you have Vic from earlier in the show trying to break down this Pelicans game for tonight? Oh, it's a drug take. Okay, so sorry, I set that one up. I try not to give anything away, but it's okay. So they're coming here. So the Nuggets taking on the Pelicans tonight. You can hear that right here, Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. The reason why I wanted to play it in its entirety without being drunk take is because it is definitely ending up on the Mojis at the end of this year. I love when I can pick things out in February that are going to come, in December. But without further ado,
we may not get to Sunday.
You guys know drunk takes. They're our favorite thing. Our clips from throughout the week. We slow them down to half speed. It makes it sound like we're hammered, Marty.
You know what? I'm not going to be a pig. I'm not going to sit there at the trough with my big old behind swatting the other pig's way. This is my slop. My slop. I'm not going to do that, right? Using your side and your big old ear. Pushing that your snout, a little tiny pig comes in. Yes. Get out of here!
Just waiting for somebody to interrupt them. Like we get it. Got it. You and pigs, man. You talk about a pig for a second, and it's going to last a minute and a half.
Pig's a fascinating animal.
What's next, Marty?
And they taste super good.
Get in that hot tub of yours. Me, Mosier, Marty, we all jump in. We're just having a bros night, drinking whiskey, watch TV out there. I'm going to pee so much in that hot tub of yours. I mean, just everywhere in there. I would too. I'll do it.
If you ever entered my hot tub, and if you peed, you would not exit the hot tub.
Mosher followed that up, if I remember right, saying, I'm going to house like 8 beers and have a fully loaded bladder before I get in. What's next?
Here's what I'm gonna say, and this is point blank. This is point blank to the because here's my problem. There is no $30 million fund, and it pisses me off that people. And here it comes from a site called Bro Bible by a guy named Slice Bread. Clown acts, all right? Irresponsible as hell. Multiple coaches in our league.
That's Jimbo Fisher.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
What a hell of a celebrity guest appearance. What's next?
But make note of a couple things. That's what I'm here for. Make note. Number 1, New Orleans has won 4 straight games. Number 2, New Orleans has also won 10 of 16.
Wait. What did you say about the Pelicans winning what? They beat Detroit. They lost their previous 4 beyond that.
You took that out of context.
You could have been more wrong, dude.
No.
Those statements were made 3 months ago, and you used them on today's show.
Yeah. So, yes, Mosier actually had a little redemption there because that sounded just like Ed Sprinkle, where I said, wait a minute, what did you say? And, yes, everything was wrong. Why do you listen to this show? What's next, Marty?
That's a $15 sleeve of golf balls that I just lost into the Pacific Ocean. Some dolphins out there playing with my balls.
Yeah.
All right, never. Okay.
Nope.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
Nope.
I left
What?
the
Nope.
balls thing in there so we know what we're talking about.
Nope.
Why are you so anti that quote? What is it? What's the matter with you?
Nope. I just deleted it. Nope. No.
What's next, Marty?
The Steelers and the Cardinals. XL111, so that is 48. I got it. Hang on a second.
Super Bowl 50.
43.
In Santa Clara.
Freaking Romans, man. That was a long time ago.
Just let them drown. I mean, that was... Mosher is maybe the smartest guy on this show, and hearing him and watching the gears turn when he's trying to do Roman numeral math.
Because there's an L got in there on the side. The L was... That messed me up.
You know what the L stands for, right?
Loser.
It stands for 40, I think.
50.
50, that's halfway, baby.
Can I just for a second? And halfway to what? What do you mean halfway?
To 100.
Halfway to 100.
To 100.
Which is a C, I think.
How would I know that's halfway to 100 when you said halfway, baby?
Because everything else is X's, V's, and I's. And then you get to 50, it's an L.
Yeah, but
it's not hard.
If I say...
It's not a difficult system. It's easier than the numeric system.
If I say to you, the number 50, that's halfway, baby. Your next question would be halfway to what?
Halfway to what?
All right, one more, Marty. What we got?
What is that one event where there's a bunch of dudes just up and down these hills and they're racing, but they put like 6-7 dudes on there and they're all going at it. What's that one called? You know the one. They're all going up these hills and it's a big race with a bunch of dudes. Dudes everywhere.
That's like stealing the movie with the guy that drives that thing.
To this
that
moment,
movie.
have no idea what you're talking about. Zero.
I don't either.
You
I
know
have
the one.
no clue.
No, it's the one where there's a bunch of dudes going down the hill racing. It's a race where all these dudes are together
Never heard of it.
on the hill.
No,
Mosier
not in the
af-
Olympics it ain't.
Mosier, after that, thought you were talking about like people ice climbing. That's what he thought you were talking about. All right. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Back on Monday, previewing the Super Bowl next week. Vic, Ryan, Jesse, all going to be in not Vegas, Los Angeles. Wednesday through Friday, so a lot to talk about. Talk to you guys then. Love you. Goodbye.